Grandmother! You still came too late. I haven't even seen such a grandmother like you.
Little sister, the dead cannot come back to life. You must mourn with restraint.
Mao! Black Mao.
Get on! Hurry up! And get out of here!
As Tianyoufu's broom came down, the black cat let out a blood-curdling shriek. Perhaps the beating aroused its strength, and the black cat leapt straight off the coffin. In an instant, the already dim lanterns in the mourning hall began to flicker wildly.
Something's moving in the coffin. It is a cross revival.
Oh my god! It is coming back to life!
Hurry! Come back, quick!
At that critical moment, a winged fire wheel suddenly came hurtling through the air, striking the old lady right on the mouth with a sharp crack. Instantly, a surge of purple lightning erupted from her mouth, forcing the old lady to bare her teeth and contort her face, and let out a piercing, agonized scream.
Ah! You vile creature! Get out of this old lady's body right now!
In response came an even more blood-curdling roar.
Thunder God, manifest your divine power! Follow me! Supreme, Lord Lao, hasten! Hasten as decreed! Yan Lei Gao, come down quick! Divine power! Follow me in agony! Won't obey the Supreme Lord Taishang! Urgent command strike!
It is dead. It is dead. That thing is dead. No, master! This is definitely a real master. Did you guys see that? She is insanely powerful.
Ouch. She looks like just a little girl. But damn, she handled it so cleanly. Way better than that Ning Xiangxiang, who claims to be a fairy girl under Xu Zhongli and just scams people for money. What kind of talk is that? How can you even compare that money-grubbing trash to a real master? Isn't that just insulting her?
Yeah. Na Ning Xiangxiang ah, she is just some chick who grew up on fake mystique, mooching food and drinks. If she actually had this kind of skill, then Xu Zhonggai's ancestral grave would be sprouting green smoke. How could he still be this broke?
The crowd was still bickering away when the little girl finished up, turned around, and everyone eagerly looked her way. But on the little girl's delicate flower bud face, there was one pitch black, lifeless left eye.
Ghost! Ghost! Ghost!
Hearing everyone's gasps, the little girl quickly raised her hand and covered her left eye when she let go again. That eye was now as clear and bright as lake water. No different from a normal person's.
Alright, don't be scared. This is just my heavenly eye for exorcising evil.
Today we really owe it all to the immortal aunt. Otherwise, who knows how many more would have lost their lives. May we ask the little immortal aunt's honorable name? We'll definitely bring generous gifts to express our thanks.
No need for generous gifts. I'm called Ning Xian. My master is Xu Zhongli. Void-crowned immortal. If you folks have time, please help spread the word about me a bit more. And just look after my Zhuan business. That is all.
Everyone was speechless.
I still gotta recharge. I'm off then.
With that, Ning Qian flashed a sweet smile and waved to the crowd, then turned and strolled away. Everyone stared at her light, carefree figure. Every single one of them felt their faces stinging.
It is getting late. So let's all head home.
The Tian family elder spoke up. After the crowd awkwardly mumbled in agreement, they quickly scattered in all directions, only leaving behind angry muttering voices drifting from afar.
I don't know who has been spreading rumors, turning such an amazing little fairy into a con artist.
Yeah, think about it. At such a young age with that much skill, someone's gotta be jealous. Right, ruining our little fairy's good name.
Actually though, Ning Xianxian's reputation got trashed, and it really wasn't because of anyone's jealousy. It was all because of that unreliable master who screwed her over. After leaving the small town, Ning Xianxian climbed mountains half the night, and only made it back to the sect around Qingming. After stepping through the gate, she happily called out to her master.
Master, your disciple's back!
Good that you're back. Good. Get your back. Hey, this is called, what was it again? This is called, you can run from the monk, but you can't run from the temple official.
This guy strides forward with total 6 relatives, denying energy, followed by 16 or 17 thugs behind him. Every single one with a face full of 横肉, oozing pure menace.
你想想with a face like, what the heck is going on here?
The situation is pretty straightforward. Master ran off, taking every valuable thing in the place with him, leaving behind only a hand-printed IOU and one old hen that doesn't even lay eggs anymore. Quietly thinking back to the few dozen copper coins left in her pouch, Ning Xiangxiang first gives a super polite smile at the guy, then bolts like crazy. With one leap, she tries to vault over the wall. Changren, the guard, let's go.
Ouch! No! Wait! Why'd you let go?
And the guy, he just coldly spits out 6 words.
Men and women should not touch so freely.
You've already hugged me anyway. Like how I'm taking this crap. I can't even explain it clearly. But damn, this guard's voice is way too good looking. Like the water from Tianqi Mountain. So crisp and clear.
You must be Ning Xiangxian's sister-in-law.
This guy isn't with the debt collectors, right? They're all in cahoots. If I say, I'm just a pilgrim here, climbing over the wall and stuff, it is because I'm practicing Qinggong. You buy that?
The guard says nothing, just stares with a pair of wooden eyes, silently watching him without a word.
Grab him! Break his legs! Let's see where he runs to now!
What is going on? Who are those people?
Hey, let go of me! They're here to collect the debt. If I don't run now, they'll really break my legs.
The guard freezes for a second, and Ningxiang seizes the chance to break free, ducks her head and slips right under his armpit. But the next second...
Second, miss! This old servant is late! You've suffered so much!
Your head's full of question marks right now. That heavenly medicine king guy. Why is another deadweight showing up? Who is this old man? What else?
Second miss. Didn't her father have her when he was 60? And she's the only child.
So how does that work? Shouldn't we call her eldest miss instead?
Sir, you've got the wrong person. And 100,000 rockets. Don't hold me back. I'm in a rush to make my getaway. It is an emergency. You're not dragging me down. I'm rushing to get away.
You still dare to run! You dare run? Everyone, get him! Reward for whoever catches him!
At the fat man's command, a dozen thugs immediately swarmed forward. In a panic, Mingqian Yingqian instinctively reached for her copper coin sword. But before she could act,
a loud bang rang out.
All those dozen thugs were instantly sent flying by a fierce gust of wind.
Who are you? Why are you capturing him?
My lord, spare us! Please, spare our lives! Repaying debt is only natural and right. We're just here to collect the silver taels owed by Taoist Yuan.
How much does my master owe you? And how did he owe it?
10,000 taels!
Gambling! Gambling! Gambling!
He lost it! Gambling!
Don't say it! Can't say! How could it be that much? You guys, you're trying to trick him by pretending to be deaf, aren't you?
Little miss, don't spout nonsense. He got drunk himself and insisted on gambling big with us. He bet 10,000 taels in one go.
Ning Qianqian suddenly felt a sharp pain in her heart. Though she really wanted to curse, she knew her master's drunken antics all too well. She knew exactly what kind of person he was. This was totally something her old master would do.
Second, miss, don't panic. It is just 10,000 taels of silver, right? Your esteemed father can afford it. As long as second miss comes with us, someone will naturally take care of everything.
Mingqian instantly perked up. She excitedly turned around, about to say, sure, yes, absolutely, but then immediately grew wary again.
It is just 10,000 taels of silver, isn't it? Even His Excellency, the Grand Secretary, can afford to show favor to this second young lady and your humble servant. Naturally, someone will take care of things here.
Master, are you sure you haven't mistaken me for someone else?
No mistake at all. No mistake. How could this old servant possibly be wrong? Miss Ning Shixian, the only daughter of Ning Yuanwei, correct?
Yeah. That sounds exactly like me. But this is literally the first time in my life anyone's called me miss. Feels super weird and uncomfortable. He just keeps blinking.
So then, who are you exactly?
This old servant, Haige, is the second steward of the Ning Grand Secretary's household. I have come this time precisely to escort you to the capital, to recognize your ancestors and return to the clan.
Ning Shixian nearly burst out laughing.
Haigui? Who on earth came up with that name? That is seriously messed up. Right.
That guy of mine. All he knows is taking concubines, can't even produce a son. And somehow he becomes Grand Secretary. Is the Emperor out of his mind or just blind? How could he possibly fancy someone like him?
Hey, yes.
Second young lady, you mustn't say such things. The Emperor.
This is grave disrespect. A crime punishable by beheading.
Second young lady, please watch your words. Kidney inflammation.
With me.
Whatever, Steward Hai says, goes in one ear and out the other. She isn't really listening at all. She only cares about one thing.
You still haven't told me, how did my dad become Grand Secretary?
No, not His Excellency, the Grand Secretary. Not the father, who is your Yuanwei.
How did my dad become a Grand Secretary?
Lord D isn't your merchant father's dad.
That is right.
Second, young miss, your grandfather's grandfather and our Grand Secretary's grandfather were blood brothers.
But our Grand Secretary's ancestor was the legitimate eldest son.
While the one in your line was from a concubine. You know how it is. A son of a concubine, once grown, had to split off and live separately. So later your grandfather's grandfather went off and became a merchant, and gradually settled down here. Then came your father, and after that, you...
What? Grandfather.
Ning Xiangxiang got completely dizzy from all that.
But why do you keep calling me second young miss?
Here is the thing. His lordship, the Grand Secretary, still has one son. The eldest young master is older than you. So, once you're recognized and brought back, you'll naturally be the second young miss.
Ning Xiangxiang counted on her fingers for the longest time and said,
But my grandfather's grandfather and the Grand Secretary's grandfather were brothers, right? So by that logic, I should be the Grand Secretary's sister. Yet, he wants to be my father?
Well, anyway, it has been so many generations apart. The difference doesn't really matter much, does it?
Then why me? There aren't any other young ladies in the clan.
Your branch's descendants have dwindled. And by your generation, aside from the eldest young master in the Grand Secretary's household, you're the only daughter left.
Felt bad.
Taixing said. Then if the eldest young master in the GA household also has no heirs, wouldn't the Ning family end up with no descendants at all?
If I say yes, you'll clear my debt right away? Of course.
This old servant came here, precisely to escort second miss to the capital.
All right, then I'll go with you.
Now this Steward Hai, she's really capable. No idea what she said to that gambling dance thug leader. But anyway, the matter was settled in no time. While Ning Shanxian sighed inwardly, money really makes everything so much easier. She quietly packed her things. After Steward Hai sent the debt collectors away, Little Stone, who served beside her, cautiously asked,
Back to the mountains. I mean, look at this second. Miss of ours. She doesn't seem very refined, does she?
A girl born and raised in the mountains. Who could possibly have taught her proper manners? Plumtree.
No. I mean, her temperament seems pretty hard to handle. Is it really okay to just bring her back like this?
Keep your voice down.
Don't let him hear you. The 2 guards from the general's mansion spotted Little Stone.
And he quickly shut his mouth. But his eyes couldn't help drifting toward the distance. Those 2 tall, upright young guards. one tall with long legs, the other with a baby face. Right now, the baby-faced one was grumbling with obvious disdain.
13th brother. I really don't think she is suitable. With a master like that, how could she possibly become our general's proper main wife?
Her martial skills are impressive. She climbs walls like it is nothing.
But we're getting a wife here, not recruiting a soldier. What good are great martial skills for that? Shouldn't she be delicate and soft instead?
13th brother recalled the feeling when he carried her earlier, and gave a very honest assessment. Quite firm.
Since when does 13th brother talk so dirty?
Second, miss, well done. This carriage was specially prepared for you. Rest inside for a bit. We'll set off right away.
In such a hurry.
Isn't it because his lordship, the Grand Secretary, is eager to see you?
Please have some sympathy for the old man's heartfelt longing to reunite with his daughter.
You talk like it is actually true. I've lived 16 years, and even my own father despised me. Yet now, this grand one, Lao suddenly doesn't mind.
You think I'm stupid? Hai Guanshi isn't treating Ning Xuanxuan like a fool either. He just has his own schemes. So once the carriage sets off, and the little stone starts bootlicking and flattering him again, this is what he says.
Sigh. A wild girl raised in a Taoist temple. How normal can you expect her to be? As long as she doesn't cause trouble.
Yeah, but she is so untamed. And wild if she finds out we're bringing her back. Not to truly recognize her as family and bring her home, but to trick her into marriage. She might not be too pleased, right?
The creditors have already climbed the mountain demanding payment. If she doesn't marry, does she want to be sold to a brothel to settle the debt?
True. Hai Guanxi is truly impressive. Every detail accounted for. No oversights!
The two of them, back and forth, completely unaware that, at some point, a white cat had appeared beside them. Having heard everything, Big Meow from the corner slips away.
So that is how it is. But even knowing this, I still can't escape. 10,000 taels.
Really selling me off to a brothel. That wouldn't even cover the real price, right?
Stop defending him.
That damn fool of a master.
If he had even 1 peanut's worth of brains, he wouldn't have gotten that wasted. Anyway, I've worn out iron shoes searching, and I'm gonna track him down, grab him by the beard, and ask him straight up, how does it feel to screw me over like this? Huh? What else can I do? Things are already this messed up. Guess I'll just head to the capital and see what happens. Maybe that Gulok, big brother of mine, is actually a super kind person. Huh? Yeah, she's a general, so she must be loaded, right? Perfect. Then once I'm the general's wife, I won't have to worry about where my next meal's coming from anymore. Just lying around at home every day.
Outside the carriage, the baby-faced kid heard every single word, shaking with rage.
13th bro, listen to this. Just listen. This stinking woman is actually talking to a cat. Is she out of her mind? And get this. She actually plans to just lie around at home every day, which just proves what kind of trash apprentice a master like that would raise.
He'd barely finished speaking when the carriage curtain suddenly flew open.
Kuang An, you two are from the general's mansion. Chun, you two are from the general's mansion, right?
How dare you eavesdrop on us?
Well, you eavesdropped on me and Damiao first.
Babyface choked. Ning Xianxian sees the chance to ask a task again.
So, just tell me already, you're here to pick me up. Is it really because I'm going to marry your general? Hey, what is the general like? What kind of person is he? And more, since you all heard anyway, just tell me. Does the general's mansion have a lot of money?
Babyface didn't want to bother with her, but 13 spoke up calmly.
No money.
Liar! He is a general now. How could he have no money?
You haven't even married into our general's mansion yet. And you're already eyeing our money. Let me tell you.
Blah, blah, blah. That's face of yours.
That mouth of yours is just like an annoying Mina bird. Once it opens, it never shuts up. Ning Xianxian was about to drop the curtain and get back in the carriage, ignoring him, when she suddenly sensed something strange. Ning Xianxian raised a finger, silencing Babyface. Don't speak. How could Babyface possibly listen to her? But his mouth was still opening and closing. Yet, he suddenly realized no sound was coming out.
Steward Hai, we can't go forward. Should we take a detour?
That is right. This is exactly the way this old slave remembers. Second miss, don't worry.
If we keep going forward, we'll hit a ghost wall. We won't be able to get out.
Steward Hai was stunned for a moment. This road was perfectly fine when they came, but now, on the way back, we've run into a ghost wall.
13th brother, there is something up ahead. Look at the horses. They're acting like they've seen a fierce beast.
13th brother nodded, but said nothing. At that moment, Ning Xiangxian's voice came from the nearby carriage again.
It is going to rain. It is chilly in these mountains. If we get caught unprepared and spend the whole night in the rain, we'll all freeze to death.
Hua Wenling was about to say, it is just rain. We've been drenched plenty on the battlefield. We wouldn't freeze even after 3 days and nights. But before he could get the words out, suddenly lightning flashed and thunder roared in the sky. The rain came pouring down in torrents, all in an instant. They didn't even have a chance to react. Everyone was soaked to the skin, like drowned rats.
You.
Then he turned to Little Stone. Actually, he was pretty scared too.
But the cold was just unbearable.
So he went.
But he came right back. Then, with his teeth chattering, he said,
This is no wonder. The hand, people can't take it.
Die!
Not. Why not?
He said, this is Yizhuang. No outsiders allowed.
And
Also said it is for our own good.
The implication is pretty clear. After all, what kind of place is Yizhuang? To put it plainly, it is a place specifically for storing the coffins of those who died. Unnatural deaths or wrongful ones. No normal person would ever come here to seek shelter. But do they have any other choice right now? So Steward Hai has no choice but to grit his teeth and step forward himself.
No, miss, no. Now get out of here. Otherwise, even if I let you in, if anything happens tonight, I'm not taking responsibility.
We don't need you to take responsibility.
No way.
Right at that moment, a clear, sweet-sounding girl suddenly cut in.
But sir, if you still won't open the door, come tomorrow. This Yizhuang will have more than a dozen extra coffins. Looking at it, this place isn't that big. Can it even hold them all?
The rest of the group and the others were all speechless. Not in this atmosphere. Don't say such terrifying things, Fa. Huh? All right.
Do whatever you want.
Right after that came a creaking sound, and the door of Yizhuang finally opened.
What the heck is that?
Man, don't freak out. Can't you tell? Those are 2 red lanterns. There are 2 hanging at the entrance too, right?
No! I mean the ones placed in the central courtyard. Aren't those coffins?
Yeah. But isn't this an Yizhuang? It is exactly the place for storing coffins. It'd be weirder if there weren't any.
He Guan choked, momentarily at a loss for words. But he has seen plenty of Yizhuang before. This run down, drafty everywhere. Half the roof tiles missing, covered in cobwebs everywhere. This is honestly the first time he has seen one like this. And the atmosphere here feels especially eerie. The patterns on those 2 red lanterns look like human eyes. Fine, but the way more than a dozen coffins are arranged is really strange too. Clearly someone takes care of it. Yet the place feels like an abandoned ruin temple. And it is still pouring rain outside, making the Yizhuang feel even colder and more sinister inside. Someone instinctively hugged their arms tight.
Why does it feel even colder in here than outside?
It is really not just your imagination. Everyone feels the same.
You all chose to come in here yourselves. If you're gonna sleep, do it now. Don't open your eyes in the middle of the night. No matter what you hear, don't open your eyes. Otherwise, if something happens, don't blame little Lauer for not warning you. Don't knock on my door. Don't come bothering me. Don't ask anything.
Master.
Just one night, and we're gone. I'd better leave right now. Get going now.
Sir,
Our Ning Xingxing just opened his mouth. With a bang, the steward slammed the door hard.
then we'll just make ourselves at home.
Ouch! What illness are we treating here? Second miss. I don't think this place is safe. We should leave. Oh well, worst case, we just stay up all night. Hey, second miss, you could still sleep in the carriage.
But there are jackals out there.
Jackals aren't that scary. Right. Better than ghosts, at least.
Who knows if ghosts eat people or not? But jackals definitely do. Especially when someone's gone quiet. Anyway, in the end everyone was trembling. But we still decided to tough it out for one night.
Second, miss, What are you doing now?
You all rest. I'll go check on them.
Hey, him! Who are they?
Even Stuart High is stuttering. Lin Xianxian walked straight toward those dozen coffins. Very good. Stuart High doesn't want to know who they are anymore.
Dear departed souls, it rains a lot in these mountains. Your coffins are worn out. They probably won't hold up much longer. If you don't mind, let me fix them up for you.
Hailing and the others were all stunned. Before coming to pick her up, he'd heard that this Miss Yanxian had quite an extraordinary life story after she was born. Raised in a Taoist temple, she hadn't picked up any proper skills. From a young age, she'd been tagging along with her master, scamming people all over the place. Just a 910 half B, A-Kit little 0 o'clock, Con 05, Artist 330. But since when did carpentry become one of a charlatan's skills?
Go deal with those 3 wolves. Outside.
Mo Rongyu curled her lip, looking quite unwilling. But since it was 13th brother's order, he went along reluctantly, yet still obeyed and left.
Mo Rongyu, why hasn't that kid come back yet? He didn't run into trouble, did he? No way. With his skills, even 3 wolves wouldn't stand a chance against him. What would we even need him for? But that girl said those things are all dead objects.
Could it be that 13th can't sit still anymore? He stood up while no one was paying attention, quickly walked to the corner, and with a single leap, effortlessly flipped over the wall.
What is wrong? What is wrong? What happened to him?
He is fine. He just got caught in the rain. A good nap will fix him up.
Okay. All right then.
Ning Xiangxian didn't force the issue, and turned around to go pet the cat.
Master! How did Junior Sister Morong end up like this?
But he's perfectly fine. So why is he out here at Yizhuang?
13th coldly leaves the palace.
13th brother! How could you do this? You ruined my reputation!
So that is how it is.
I get it now.
Yet, his gaze couldn't help drifting to the outhouse in Yizhuang, not far away.
Who the hell would believe that?
There is clearly an outhouse right inside Yizhuang, but you insist on running out into the pouring rain to leave the palace. Is there something seriously wrong with your head? That night, Mo Rongyu comes down with a high fever. Not only the fever, but he is also delirious and talking nonsense.
Mom. Okay then. A bird eats a wolf. Right.
Locked up and eaten. Don't chase me!
Shui-san furrows his brow. Just as he is hesitating whether to find some dry grass to cover her, Ning Xiangxian comes over again, carrying her little bundle tied up.
It is all spoiled, right?
13th stays silent, just quietly watching the little maid in front of him. Ning Xiangxian acts like she doesn't notice his gaze, casually pulls out those pitch-black pills from her bundle. Those pills are the size of eggs, and she is about to stuff them straight into Mo Rongyu's mouth. 13th instinctively reaches out to swat them away again. But Shen, as if she has eyes on the back of her head, says,
His fever's way too high. If he doesn't take the medicine, he'll burn his brain into stupidity. He is burning way too high. If he doesn't take the medicine, he'll burn into an idiot.
The fool's battlefield is brutal out there. Even with military doctors around, it still happens. After soldiers get badly wounded, high fever fries their brains. Not everyone ends up a complete idiot, but plenty lose their voice, go blind, or even end up paralyzed. For anyone else, fine. But not Mo Rongyu的话. Whether he turns stupid or crippled, 13 can't bear to watch it happen. The second he zones out, Ning Xiangxian seizes the moment and shoves the pill forward, quickly cramming it into Mo Rongyu's mouth. But that pill's huge. It won't go down, so she smacks it hard, forcing it straight down his throat.
13. Forget it. It is already down.
You gonna dig it back out or what? Still, 13 carefully watches Mo Rongyu's face, mostly scared he won't die from the fever but choke instead. Luckily, Mo Rongyu's got tough luck. He doesn't choke and slowly comes to.
What is this nasty taste in my mouth?
Fever's down. Then I'm sleeping.
Wait! What is with the wolves outside? You know something, don't you?
Xian pretends she doesn't understand.
I just wanted to go out and take care of those wolves. But then I saw this massive, multicolored giant bird. It devoured all those wolves, crunching their bones with loud cracking sounds. Huh. What? You know exactly what is going on, don't you?
Is it that I know you're faking this? My asthma thing.
What the hell?
Ning Xianxian puts on a straight face and start spouting complete nonsense.
The mountain miasma is really thick. It is not so bad when the sun's out. The air's fresh. The miasma's light. But when it rains and the fog rolls in, the miasma lingers, and it is easy to get poisoned. 所以啊, you're poisoned. And everything you saw was just a hallucination.
No way. Whether it is an illusion or not, I can tell the difference.
What I said is all real. Look, after you got hit by that flatulence, you didn't just faint. You were burning up with fever and talking nonsense. If I hadn't fed you those antidote pills earlier, you'd already be burnt into an idiot by now. Lu Jun, ask him.
He doesn't say a word. Those thin lips pressed into a tight line.
You're the one who is burnt into an idiot. Wait, no. So it was you all along. I said the taste in my mouth feels really weird. It turns out you fed me something strange.
What strange thing? That is called poison clearance. I'd give it to you for free and not even charge you. And you still dare to complain. Do you even have a conscience?
I don't believe it. I'm definitely not hallucinating.
Then, do you dare go out again, get drenched in the rain one more time, pass out again, and come back so we can see if you're running a fever? You wouldn't be talking nonsense then.
Mo Rongyu immediately went quiet like a chicken with his throat, pinched, not making a sound.
He didn't dare.
Seeing the baby-faced one all puffed up and furious, he finally behaved himself. Ning Xiangxian waved her hand.
All right, get some proper rest. I'm going to sleep.
With that, he turned and went back to the haystack. Then Mo Rongyu just watched wide-eyed as he boldly lay down right in the middle of the row of coffins. Instantly, his eyeballs nearly popped out.
13th brother. Look at him. Has he lost his mind? There are so many places to sleep, and he chooses to sleep right in the middle of those coffins.
13 still kept his lips pressed together, saying nothing. Only those striking black eyes grew darker and heavier.
Grandpa Ding, you're up.
How did you know this old man's surname is Ding?
I guessed. Didn't expect to get it right on the first try.
Ding Lao, do you take him for some old fool? However, if last night their stubborn act of showing respect to the strong seemed to Ding Lao like they were deliberately courting death, then today Ding Lao's view of this group has completely changed. There must be a real expert among them. The old man's hollow eyes swept over everyone, finally landing on the imposing figure of 13. No helping it. He is way too conspicuous.
My lord, since last night you coexisted peacefully with them, without any incident. Perhaps we should depart as early as possible this morning.
Why are you telling me all this? And who exactly are they?
My lord, did you not contend with them in private all through last night? So why ask me now who they are?
At this question, every gaze turned toward 13, including Mo Rongyu. He stared at his 13 in shock.
Brother, what did you do last night? How could I not know?
I did nothing.
Impossible. How could they do nothing at all and simply let you go? In the past, when has it not turned the place upside down?
Ding the second let it slip, and quickly shut his mouth. But then, upon reflection, since things have come to this, he might as well not hide it anymore. He simply pointed at those coffins scattered every which way.
In truth, none of them ever left. They have always been right here. After all, this manor was once their home in life.
With just these words, 13 remained calm and unruffled, showing no reaction at all. But Steward Hai and all the servants were utterly terrified.
What? This? There really are ghosts here. So many of them. There really are ghosts here. And so damn noisy too.
What noise? It is already daylight. What the hell are you still scared of?
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get out of here quick. It is still night. Otherwise, when night comes, they'll come out. Just because they didn't mess with us last night doesn't mean I'm not terrified tonight. I'm so freaking scared.
Can you just act normal for once? Is he even a man anymore?
I am a man, but I'm scared of ghosts too. Okay.
Ding Lao watched everyone's reactions, and deep down, he knew nothing really happened last night. He muttered to himself, completely in disbelief.
This can't be. No way. This really can't be. They used to kick up a hell of a fuss. Every time I came here to do the picking up and sending off, I got scared half to death. Straight up frightened to death. How could they suddenly make an exception just for you guys?
He said, and tentatively probed again.
Sir, Do you have some kind of magical artifact or treasure on you? The kind that suppresses souls and drives away ghosts?
No.
Then why?
Could it be because our second miss helped repair all their broken coffins?
What? Repair? What? Repairing coffins? What coffins?
Ding Lao is still in shock. His blank eyes instinctively turned toward the 100 coffins area. Sure enough, he could sense that every single damaged coffin had been completely repaired. Those previously vacant, aimless eyes finally shifted away from number 13 and landed on Ning Xianxian.
Miss, may I ask, was it you who took action last night?
No big deal. No big deal. I just helped fix up a coffin. Burned some paper ingots and new clothes for them. I figure they were quite pleased with it. So last night they didn't come bothering us.
Who are you then?
Well, that is about it.
Ding Lanner still couldn't quite believe it.
But in the past, travelers who wanted to stay here overnight, some of them had tried doing the same. Yet they were still scared half to death.
Well, perhaps it is because I actually made them a promise.
Oh, how could you dare do that?
Miss.
Promising anything to ghosts and spirits is a major taboo. What exactly did you promise them?
Nothing much. Really, I just told them that if we manage to reach the capital safely, I'd have my big brother spend the silver to give them all proper burials, and then hold a grand and lively ritual for them, wishing them a swift reincarnation.
Oh dear. So that is how it was.
They're not bad people at all. They're just lingering here, without causing trouble or harming anyone, or scaring outsiders. They're just two restless spirits.
Miss, you seem quite knowledgeable about these matters.
That is because my master is Ning Qian.
She was just about to mention her master's name, Yuan Hong, but then she remembered the 10,000 taels of silver debt. What if her master owed money to other families too? She quickly swallowed the words and spoke vaguely instead.
My master is a Taoist priest. I've been with him since I was very young. I wouldn't dare say I know much about these things, just a little bit on the side.
Oh, I see. I see.
The so-called rest in peace once buried, since they haven't been properly buried, and no one offers them sacrifices. They've been hungry and cold for years. Naturally, they're unwilling to accept it. It'd be strange if they didn't cause a stir.
Yes. Miss, you have to keep your word. This little old man, if you can make it back to the capital safely, please do send someone to give them a proper burial.
Otherwise,
I'm afraid they might cause trouble all the way to the capital.
Of course, if I had any silver on hand right now, why would I wait until I get to the capital? I could do it right away.
But before she could finish, Steward Hai timidly raised his hand.
Second miss, this old servant still has some silver here. Hey, second miss, do we still have any silver left here? Old servant!
How much do we have left that can cover their burial and hiring the masters?
Hey, should be enough.
That is great then. Hurry and hand the silver to Grandpa Ding. We shouldn't stay here long. Just let him handle all the arrangements.
100 taels should be enough, right?
Enough. Yes, but even without a generous burial fund, it doesn't take much silver. The main cost is still the rituals and such. We can't shortchange the master's benefits.
With that said, Ning Qianxian turns to the old man quite professionally.
Grandpa Ding, here is 200 taels for you. Use it as you see fit. If there is any left over, just keep it for yourself. Consider it your reward after more than 10 years of service.
Oh my! I wouldn't dare. I really wouldn't. No, that won't do.
Ning Qianxian is really generous and bold.
It is fine. My big brother has plenty of money and handles everything.
So since it is not coming out of your own pocket, you can just splurge, right? But we've already spent 10,000 taels, so 200 more isn't much. Think of it as buying a bit of peace of mind. Otherwise, after coming all this way, we'd end up bringing back a dozen resentful ghosts. That would scare people to death. With the matter happily settled like that, Ning Qianxian and her group prepare to leave. Before they go, old Ding proactively offers her an old abacus. Chen Chen's left eye has always been different from others, and with just one glance, she immediately knows there is something inside that abacus, and not just one thing. She smiles and declines.
No need for that. I wouldn't know how to keep accounts anyway.
Miss, Meeting by chance is fate. Please just accept it. This is the Ding family's heirloom treasure. They say it finds its way to someone destined for it. It guarantees lasting wealth and prosperity. You met them by pure chance, yet treated them with such kindness. So I believe entrusting it to you is right. Master Ding is more than willing.
At first, Ning Xianxian really didn't want it, but those words, wealth and prosperity, were way too tempting for him. After all, he still owes 10,000 tiles of silver, right? So he made a show of refusing, but couldn't hold out. In the end, he took it. The group set off again. The surviving servants huddled together, gossiping away.
Steward, what do you make of last night's chaos?
What else can I say?
The second miss is someone with real power. As long as we stick with her, we'll definitely make it back to the capital without a hitch.
Yeah. Last night was so dangerous, yet everything turned out fine.
No matter what we run into next, we should pull through safely.
The guy had barely finished talking when Little Stone smacked him on the head.
You moron! What do you mean? What we run into next? Why not just say, we'll run into nothing at all?
The guy clutched his head, looking totally wronged.
I wish I could!
But, we can't say unlucky things out loud.
Fine. I won't say it then. It is not like I meant to.
Even if the second miss comes back to the capital with us.
Would she really look down on this marriage?
Hey. How could she possibly look down on it? That is the #1 warrior of our great moon, Imperial City, worthy of being second only to one man, and above all others. He is just a country bumpkin.
His mouth ran ahead of him for a second, and Little Stone nearly let it slip again. So he quickly corrected himself.
If the second miss gets to marry General Ming, that is definitely her climbing way up.
But if General Ming is really that amazing, why aren't any of the young ladies from all those noble families in the capital willing to marry him?
Oh, I've heard a thing or two about that.
What I'm about to say next isn't exactly nice. So before I go on, he first glanced at the carriage not far away, then lowered his voice.
I heard from the storyteller at the tea house that General Ming, he is 8 feet tall, big and burly, stands like a black bear. His face is hideously ugly, so much so that it is not just children who cry at night. He has killed countless people, and he even likes to eat human flesh.
Eat people? You're talking nonsense. Why would General Ming eat people?
Because he is possessed by a yaksha, a bane of others' existence. And they say he has even got 3 heads.
Is that real or fake? This must be those storytellers exaggerating again.
Little Stone just got it backwards.
Then, you said, during Chinese New Year, what dog gods do the folks in the capital paste up?
Qin Qiong, Yu Qi Gong.
No. At my place, they all paste General Ming. On the left is a portrait of General Ming charging on horseback, slaying enemies. On the right, it is General Ming in his demon-slaying, exorcist form.
And get this.
The General Ming on the right doesn't have a human face. It is a ghost face. No, not a yaksha face.
So you're saying the rumors are true? Then our second miss, this isn't a good match at all, is it?
Oh yeah, definitely not. Otherwise, with such a fine imperial match, how could it fall to a concubine daughter from a collateral branch?
Sigh. They say it is because there are no other eligible young ladies in our Jalapal branch. So they had to adopt one from the side family.
That is just an excuse. And you actually believe it.
So second miss is basically being used as cannon fodder.
The servants chime in one after another, chatting away so excitedly. Then Steward Hai suddenly pipes up.
Hey, it is not as horrifying as you all make it sound. Even if General Ming is a bit ugly, has a bad temper, and might even be incapable in that regard, in the end, he wouldn't actually devour his bride, right? This is an imperial marriage edict, after all. Even for the emperor's sake, he'd at least hold back, wouldn't he?
All the servants nod in agreement. At that moment, someone spots the white cat and tries to shoo it away with his foot. The white cat gives him a cold, sidelong glance, then flicks its tail and dashes off. After Ning Xianxian hears the white cat's meows, her face turns pale as ashes.
I'm done for. No wonder. I was wondering why this so-called big brother GA, who hasn't been heard of in centuries, suddenly showed up to pick me up. It turns out he just wants to send me as food. What am I supposed to do? I'm jumping off this carriage right now. Is it even still possible? Yeah, right. Even if I manage to jump, those 10,000 tiles of silver will crush me to death anyway. Why is my life so miserable?
At that moment, 13, riding alongside, hears the commotion inside the carriage and thinks to himself.
She is crying. But why?
After all, 13 is the classic brooding type, worried inside, but keeps his mouth shut as usual. However, at that moment, the carriage curtain is suddenly yanked open, and Ning Xiangxian pokes her tear-streaked face out, demanding,
I've been crying my eyes out here, and none of you are even trying to comfort me.
Mo Rongyu just rolls his eyes dramatically, completely uninterested in comforting her. It is 13 who finally speaks up.
What is wrong?
My dear big brother Jie is absolutely evil. He totally tricked me. I heard General Ming is super vicious. He even eats people. I heard the general is super fierce. He even eats people. That is why all the noble ladies in the capital are too scared to marry him. So at 26, he is still unwed and single.
Mo Rongyu chưa có听được啥程度 this anymore.
Nonsense! Our general doesn't eat people.
You're his soldier. Of course, you defend him.
Even if I weren't his soldier, I'd still know no one eats people. This isn't some ghost story.
Yeah, that is true.
Xian Xian finally calmed down, wiped away the tears that weren't even there, then looked up and asked very earnestly.
So, what does General Ming actually look like? Looks like, built like a huge black bear, and with 3 heads.
13 was speechless. Mo Rongyu's blood rushed straight to his head.
Why don't you just say he has 6 arms too? Is he the reincarnation of Naija, born from a lotus root?
MHN.
Ning Xianxian suddenly felt a bit guilty, so he quickly said to them,
Alright. No one actually has 3 heads, but he must be really ugly.
Mo Rongyu was so angry, he almost cursed out loud. But he quickly glanced at 13 and could only stubbornly roar.
She must be really ugly.
Xiangzhu, she is not ugly at all. Extremely handsome.
You don't have to lie to me. She really is ugly.
Ling Xianxian looked utterly devastated, with no hope left in her eyes.
I've heard all about it. In the capital, people don't put up door gods for New Year anymore. Every household puts up General Ming instead. They say it wards off evil spirits and ghosts. They say he can even stop children from crying at night. You can imagine just how terrifying he must look.
13 stayed silent, unconsciously touching his own face. Mo Rongyu caught this gesture, and his heart ached once more.
Don't just believe rumors. Our general is incredibly good looking. No young master in the entire capital can compare to him. He's better than you.
Mo Rongyu had meant to say even better looking than you. But setting everything else aside, that face truly is unparalleled in this world. Even in these plain clothes, he already looks so ethereal and refined. If he were dressed up a bit, even the palace ladies couldn't match his stunning complexion. He swallowed those words back and changed what he said.
Anyway, my general is handsome. Huh? Look at him. He is just as good looking as him.
Mo Rongyu was referring to 13. Ling Xuanxian stared at 13's face, subconsciously counting the freckles on his nose. She let out a sigh.
Sigh! Brother Morong, how about I get you another bowl to eat? You still look like you're running a fever, saying such nonsense. Here, I'll get you another bowl.
Eat till you're full.
You still look feverish.
I'm not running a fever, and I'm not talking nonsense either.
Mo Rongyu was about to flare up again, but 13 cut in coldly.
Enough.
Stop talking.
Mo Rongyu looked deeply unwilling, but in the end, he swallowed back all those filthy, crude, and abusive words. After a long silence, 13 suddenly asked Ning Qianqian.
You don't want to marry him?
Of course not. I heard he is 26, and I'm only 16. He could practically be my father. How could I possibly want to marry 13?
Mo Rongyu, stung to the core, flared up again in anger.
What do you mean 26 could be your father? Who could possibly have a child at 10 years old? Didn't your own father have you when he was 60?
I was just making an analogy. An analogy. Do you understand or not? Being uneducated is really scary. That big brother is completely different from you. You can tell at a glance he is very learned. See, he doesn't even look at me the same way.
13 said nothing,
just kept his cold face and stayed silent.
Look, see, I told you, even the guard brother has accepted it. So that General Ming really must be ugly.
Since you don't want to marry him, then why did you agree to go with Stuart High? You don't want to marry him, then why did you agree to go with Stuart High?
Obviously, because I can't pay back 10,000 taels of silver.
So Chen Chen could only give an awkward laugh, looking extremely guilty.
Of course, it is because he is ugly, and it is not like the general wanted this either. Right. I can't just look down on him and despise him because of his appearance. Besides, General Ming defends the nation. He is a great hero. Being the wife of such a hero is my lifelong blessing, isn't it?
Mo Rongyu glared at her viciously.
Why did you pause for so long when you said blessing? And even grate your teeth?
Because I'm just so happy, obviously. Being ugly, I can live with that. But eating people, that is a bit much.
I already told you, he doesn't eat people. Are you trying to make me die of anger?
Mo Rongyu was so furious, she almost jumped off her horse to hit her. But she couldn't, so she could only tattle.
13th brother, hurry up and scold her. Scold her to death!
Ning Chen really couldn't understand why this little round face was so worked up, and started lecturing her all seriously.
Why are you so mad? I wasn't even talking about you. And also, why do you keep asking the guard brother to curse people? You can't corrupt him like that.
Mo Rongyu and Ning Chen bickered noisily. Finally, before the hour of noon, they left that mountain they could never seem to escape last night.
Stuart High, you're here on orders from His Lordship the Grand Secretary to escort your second young lady back to the capital.
That is correct.
Another hour or so ahead lies Changshu Village in Sangjing Township. May I ask if your party plans to stay the night here?
Seeing the man's expression, Stuart High felt a sudden chill in his heart.
Is there something wrong?
To be honest with you, things have been rather strange around here lately. A major case occurred, and staying there overnight, I'm afraid it might invite trouble.
Honestly, Stuart High really couldn't bear to hear such words right now. He grew anxious at once.
But the road to the capital is the only route we can take, and it is going to get dark very soon. If we do not stop in the village, we will have to camp in the open wilderness. Would that not be far more dangerous?
You have a point. It would be best to pass through in daylight. At night, however.
What is wrong with the night?
The burly villager hesitated for a moment before speaking. The thing is, Sanjing Township is home to the famed longevity village, where, it is said, 58 elders had lived past 100. Yet on the night of the Ghost Festival, all those centenarians perished in a single night. Yet, that was only the beginning. After the Ghost Festival, deaths continued in Longevity Village, and every one of them was a man.
One per night. So far, at least 7 or 8 of those who reported to the authorities have died, and every single one was scared to death.
The head constable spoke again, lowering his voice even further.
We were precisely ordered to come investigate this case, and now we're just about to return and report back.
Hearing this, Stuart High's face went pale.
Then, what have you found out?
Nothing at all. The village women claim it is ghosts, causing havoc, and that only by hiring a great master can the matter be resolved with money. But all the masters from miles around, upon hearing of this case, shut their doors and refused to get involved. Only that Taoist Yuan from Shuzhongguan was willing to take a chance. Yet recently he has vanished without a trace, and no one knows whether he simply doesn't want to come anymore.
Stuart High drew in a sharp breath of cold air, his heart pounding furiously. Yet, his eyes unconsciously drifted toward the carriage carrying second Miss Ning. That Yuan Daozhang, who is always up to no good. Isn't he exactly second Mrs. Dat dodging? Good-for-nothing master. Of course, Ning Xiangxiang also overheard their conversation.
We proceed as planned.
But, young Mrs.
You smiled gently and said it is fine.
I already have it all figured out.
You may have it figured out, but we certainly don't.
But remember last time at the foot of the mountain, when no one listened to advice, and we ended up walking straight into a ghost wall, and had to spend the middle of the night staying in that mortuary. Even now, it is still inexplicable. but I think we'd better just behave ourselves and obediently follow the young Mrs. words. Although there is clearly something very high risk waiting ahead, their family's second miss is obviously even more high risk than the danger itself. And so, though Steward High and all the servants were filled with dread, they still thanked the head constable properly before. As planned, we've entered the boundaries of Longevity Village. The resentment is even heavier than the Melanchi. Could it be that someone suffered a tremendous injustice?
What did you figure out?
I could only get a rough idea, but those who died probably weren't exactly innocent.
What do you mean they weren't wronged? Didn't that constable brother explain it clearly enough just now? At least 60-odd people have died in this village. 58 of them were centenarians, and after the Ghost Festival calamity, another 7 or 8 more died, and they were all men.
Yeah, so why do you think the women are all fine, while only the men are affected?
Well, how should I know?
Mo Rongyu was momentarily stumped, but he quickly countered.
Right, they said after the Ghost Festival. The 7 or 8 who died were all men. But they never said those 58 centenarians were all men. There must have been some women, right?
No.
How is that possible? Besides, how do you even know it was? From your calculations.
Didn't you just see it with your own eyes?
I believe you. Like hell I do.
Shh. It is getting dark. That word isn't something you can just say casually at night. Watch your mouth.
Hearing that, Mo Rongyu suddenly shivered. If this had been before last night, if someone had told him ghosts really exist in this world, and that there are giant birds that devour wolves, Mo Rongyu would have cursed them out for talking nonsense. But he'd seen it all with his own eyes earlier, so now he didn't dare disbelieve anymore.
Since you figured out there is something wrong with this village, why did you still let us come in? Since you figured out this village has issues, why did you still let us come in? Because you're a woman.
Yeah, you're so smart.
13's expression instantly darkened. Though he looks pretty average, his gaze can be downright terrifying at times. Ling Xianxian knows better than to take the hit right now, and quickly waves it off with an explanation.
Just messing with you, and you actually bought it. Relax. Sure, this village has its dangers, but the real threat should only be the villagers themselves. We're outsiders, and we're just staying one night. It'll be fine.
You're that confident?
Of course.
He says this while smiling and pinching his fingers together, the gesture making it crystal clear he is divined. 13 stares at him, at those slender jade-like fingers so casually moving, and says nothing for a long while.
With night falling fast, it is no time to keep chatting.
Ning Xianxian steps forward instead, sending him to talk to the village chief about lodging.
Lodging is lodging, but this old man has one word of warning for you all. One word, one sleep till dawn. Best to never step out at night. Ignore any sounds you hear, and whatever you do, don't answer.
These words instantly make everyone uneasy again. So much so that once night falls, no one dares close their eyes. The only one sleeping soundly is probably Ning Xingxing. After all, she hasn't come out since entering the inner room, and clear little snores are coming from inside. Here she is, aspiring to be a pampered little princess, yet snoring like that. It is so embarrassing, we'd all want to hide our faces. But precisely because of Ning Xingxing's loud snoring, it actually helped everyone calm down from their fear, and little by little, they all drifted off peacefully. Yet 13 still could fall asleep.
13th brother, why aren't you asleep?
Just wait a little longer.
Mo Rongyu was about to ask what they were waiting for, but at that very moment, a string of clear, crisp bell chimes suddenly rang in his ears. It sounded like wind chimes hung among the bamboo grove, crisp and melodious. As Mo Rongyu listened, he gradually became entranced, and then it was as though he had been hypnotized. His eyelids drooped, and he fell fast asleep. Almost the instant his eyes closed, 13th brother abruptly woke and sat bolt upright. In truth, he had nearly been hypnotized just moments ago. But right as his mind began to drift, something like an electric jolt suddenly struck his mind. That single shock, and he was instantly wide awake.
Why didn't you fall asleep?
Weren't you awake too?
How can that be the same? I was never asleep to begin with. But didn't you hear the bell chimes just now?
13th brother's gaze darkened.
So it really was you.
It was me. But I already tried the hypnosis technique on all of you. So how are you still able to come after me?
Ning Xianxian looked utterly confused and tugged at her crown. Her originally loose flowing hair had now been swept up into a neat Taoist topknot, secured by the crown. Though her face still looked youthful and tender, she no longer resembled an ordinary young girl. She looked more like a young female Taoist priestess.
Guard big brother, if I told you to go back to your room and sleep right now, would you actually listen to me?
No. Also, I still want to call you guard big brother.
Fine then. 13th brother.
That unhesitating 13th brother completely stunned him.
What did you just call me?
Didn't you say I wasn't allowed to call you guard big brother anymore? Then what am I supposed to call you? I don't even know your real name.
Just call me 13.
But the words rose to his throat, and in the end, 13 still spoke in a low, heavy voice.
Forget it. Do whatever you want.
Okay, then I'll just call you whatever I feel like. Freckles, big brother.
13 glared at him with a fierce look. Star wasn't scared at all, and even waved his hand with a cheeky grin.
Alright, I get it. I won't tease you anymore, 13th brother. But seriously, you really won't go back to your room and sleep?
No.
Ning Chuan put on an, as expected, disappointed face. But he has always been good at letting things go, and quickly perked up.
I can take you along, but let's get one thing straight first. Don't get in my way.
You think I'd be in the way?
What else? When it comes to fighting on the battlefield, I'm no match for you. But when it comes to catching demons and exorcising ghosts, you're the one who can't do it.
13 went completely silent. No helping it. He is really useless at this. But at the same time, he still asked,
Soyi, what exactly did you divine this time? So what the hell did you figure out?
Direction, auspicious or ominous, and gender.
What the hell do you mean by gender? 13 frowned, but quickly guessed it was a female ghost.
How did you know to guess that?
After all, you already reminded us before that everyone who died in this village was a man.
Not bad. Not bad. You're quite teachable. 13th bro, you've got real talent. I see. Care to join my sect and cultivate the Tao with me?
No.
Why not?
You're actually that good at calculations. Can't you divine the reason yourself?
You think I'm some immortal? I don't know your birth chart. For one, and with your innate fate, how could I possibly divine something like that?
Though Ning Xianxian said that out loud, her fingers instinctively started forming seals on their own. At some point, thick black threads had coiled layer upon layer around 13's body. He'd heard his master describe this before. It is called being covered in karmic sins. Each black thread likely represents a human life taken. With so many coils wrapped around 13, it is proof she has killed countless people. Jacob. Ning Xianxian swallowed hard in lingering fear, and quickly waved his hand.
Crackle, crackle, with such overwhelming murderous aura, I'm afraid my Taoist sect truly can't handle you.
With that, he thought of something else, and muttered fearlessly.
You generals really do eat people, don't you? Your general really does eat people, doesn't he? Otherwise, how could he keep a brutal soldier like you in check?
13 shot him an even colder glance.
He doesn't eat people. He just kills. Jacob.
Ning Xianxian swallowed hard again, and whimpered softly in her mind once more.
Panicking all over again.
But no matter how much she whimpers, she still has to take 13 ghosts hunting. But after Ning Xianxian had circled most of the village, the doubts in her heart only grew heavier.
The people in this village aren't reacting normally.
What do you mean?
Look, this village is clearly haunted or filled with malevolent energy. Yet night has only just fallen, and not a single household has lit a lamp. Isn't that strange? As everyone knows, ghosts hide by day and come out at night. They fear light and brightness. The way they're acting, you'd think they were deliberately waiting for ghosts to come knocking.
Who said there are no lights in the village? Isn't that one right up ahead?
13 raised his hand and pointed. Ning Xianxian indeed spotted a faint light far in the distance, shining through the darkness.
Such a remote spot, and yet there is a light on there. That makes it even more suspicious.
Right. With that, Ning Xianxian quickly pinched her fingers and calculated. Who knows what she figured out this time. But she crooked her finger, beckoning to 13.
Let's go! I want to check it out over there.
It looked close by, yet it took a full half cup of tea to reach.
Who is out there?
We are disciples of Yuan Hong, the void-crowned master, sent by our master to exorcise the evil plaguing Aru village.
Only then did faint, scattered sounds begin to stir inside the room. The one who came to open the door was an elderly man with graying temples, the village chief of Aru village himself. The village chief's gaze circled over Ning Xianxian's youthful, delicate face, then looked past him, but did not see the awaited Master Yuan in person. Instead, he saw a young man in black, radiating righteous aura. The village chief vaguely felt this young man looked somewhat familiar.
Yet for the moment, he could not recall where he had seen the future disciple of Master Yuan.
Master has other urgent matters and could not arrive in time. Fearing he might delay your esteemed affairs, he sent me ahead first. We have come to take a look,
Ning Xianxian replied, while silently observing the movements within the ancestral hall. All those hiding inside were men. A dark-skinned burly man stepped forward at that moment.
Father, that Master Yuan accepted our silver, didn't he? Isn't this just cheating us?
The village chief looked at the dark-skinned man with shame and helplessness, as if he still had more to say.
But just as he began to speak, a sudden gust of yin wind swept through, and from the darkness came faint, scattered sounds approaching from afar. The black-skinned man's face drained of color instantly. He shoved Ling Xiangxian away from the doorway with sudden force.
Caught completely off guard,
Xianxian crashed into 13 behind her. At that moment, the black-skinned man slammed the door shut in a flash. But it was already one step too late. The moment he clearly saw the woman's face, the black-skinned man's legs gave out beneath him. The name San nearly slipped from his lips, yet he forced it back down his throat at the last second. At that moment, the village chief inside bellowed,
Thunder God, help hold the door!
If she gets in, we're all dead tonight!
Hearing this, the men surged forward, yet a dozen men still couldn't overpower the single female ghost's strength. The gap in the door widening further and further. The female ghost's cracked, grinning face slowly forcing its way through the crack inch by inch, as half her body slipped inside the room. At the critical instant, a square-hulled copper coin suddenly shot from behind the female ghost, striking her squarely on the back with a sharp smack. The furious female ghost let out a blood-curdling scream, then whipped her head around and glared viciously at Ning Qianqian. Though the female ghost was ferocious, upon realizing Ning Xianxian was a woman, she no longer roared at him. She merely bared her teeth in a menacing warning for a moment. Before turning back to assault the ancestral hall's gate once more, she clawed frantically at it with her long razor-sharp nails, desperately trying to tear the door apart. Seeing the ghost refuse to relent, Ning Xianxian snapped her fingers, sending 2 more copper coins hurtling through the air, striking the backs of both her ghost claws, precisely one left, one right. The female ghost tumbled violently, roaring in agony. Her howls mingled with eerie, shifting wails, sometimes guttural, sometimes filled with chilling sorrow. The mournful cries echoing hauntingly through the night outside the ancestral hall. The sound sent shivers down the spines of the men inside, their hair standing on end.
Retreat at once!
But the female ghost refused to back down, snarling furiously at him once more. Yet her wide-open mouth was utterly empty. Her tongue had been torn out. All she could force from her throat were guttural, beast-like whimpers and rasping roars.
She dared not! Thunder God and Lightning Mother, swiftly descend with divine power. Follow me to drive out this agony. Boom! 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 By the urgent command of Taishan Laojun, swift as the law commands!
Thunderfire surges and roils,
splitting apart like a hollow void. The female ghost wails in agony, writhing and rolling on the ground. Amid the chanting of the incantation, Xianxian scatters another handful of copper coins. Those copper coins seem imbued with heavenly vision, striking the female ghost with flawless precision. The female ghost is now pinned to the wall by the coins. The female ghost struggles relentlessly, emitting from her mouth cries of both madness and defiance, filled with rage and deep grievance. The female ghost has no tongue. She cannot speak. She can only produce muffled, accusing whimpers. At this moment, her eyes blaze like fire, as if questioning Ning Qianqian why she would aid those beasts. Ning Xianxian reaches out her hand. The female ghost recoils in terror, yet her hand simply rests gently on the top of the ghost's head, softly stroking it. Almost simultaneously, her left eye turns pitch black. In an instant, scenes flash before her like a revolving lantern, all appearing vividly within Ning Xianxian's left eye. It turned out that Sanyang was bought by the village chief for his son Happy with just a few copper coins strung together. His wife was only 13 when she gave birth to a child for Appy. But the people in this village only wanted sons. When Sanyang gave birth to a daughter, the village chief and his son drowned the baby alive right in front of her eyes. They simply filled a basin with water and submerged the newborn infant in it. Sanyang struggled desperately to save her daughter, but she couldn't save her. Instead, she was brutally beaten. After that, Sanyang gave birth to a second, third, and fourth daughter. Perhaps her fate was just too cruel. All four were what the village chief called money-losing goods. So one by one, they were all drowned right before her eyes. Later, since Sanyang couldn't produce a son for Appy, he decided to buy another wife. But there was no extra money at home. So they forced Sanyang to sleep with every penniless bachelor in the village who couldn't afford a wife. Then, they used the money she earned to buy a new wife. How pitiful. The girl they bought was only 8 years old. He forced himself on her to consummate the marriage. Hearing the child's heart-wrenching screams, Sanyang couldn't bear it, so she secretly helped the child escape afterward. Happy flew into a rage and nearly beat Sanyang to death. He branded her with red-hot fire tongs, poured boiling water over her, and even sliced her mouth open with a kitchen knife. Sanyang's mouth festered so badly she couldn't eat and eventually starved to death. After Sanyang died, Happy sent someone to report it to the authorities, and had the village chief spread word everywhere that Sanyang had been unfaithful. They even pretended to punish her corpse by putting it in a pig cage. After Sanyang died, her resentment refused to fade, only transforming into the red-clad vengeful spirit on the Zhongyuan festival. "You've suffered so much injustice." Just these words, and suddenly 2 streams of blood tears rolled from the female ghost's eyes. "Will you trust me?" Though she may look like a mere young girl, perhaps because of the Taoist robe she wears, the female ghost sensed an innate gentleness in her capable of melting even the hardest heart. Her voice carries a slow, measured cadence, soft and gentle, so tender it could bring tears to anyone's eyes. "You chose to become a vengeful sha, slaughtering over 60 lives, regardless of whether they deserved it or not. You bear the sin. That is why I cannot simply let you go. But since you now place your trust in me, I will surely seek justice on your behalf." "Will that do?" Upon hearing this, Third Lady let fresh blood tears stream down her face once more. And almost at the same instant, Ning Qianqian casually drew out a small gourd. "Come inside." Third Lady hesitated for a moment, but in the end, she willingly dissolved into a wisp of black smoke and entered the gourd. At that moment, number 13 stepped forward, gazing at the small gourd in her hand, and furrowed his brow.
What exactly just happened? What the hell is going on?
But the words had barely left his mouth when he noticed Fibrous' left eye again, pitch black with no trace of white, exactly like a female ghost's.
Your eye.
Fibrous realized a second too late that she had forgotten to close her left eye. She hurriedly raised her hand to cover it, acting all nothing to see here.
"It is not what you think. My eyes are perfectly normal."
He pressed his lips together in silence, but his cold gaze seemed to say without words, "I'm not blind, you know."
"Fine. My eyes really aren't like ordinary people's. It is called the passing yin eye. Master always said that these eyes of mine were born for this line of work, because they can see so many things you people can't."
So what did you see?
Ning Xianxian lowered her hand, and at that moment, 13 noticed her left eye had returned to normal. While he was still stunned, Xianxian had already told him everything she'd seen about Sanyang's entire past. 13 fell even quieter after hearing it all. He struggled to wrap his head around how one person's eyes could see ghosts and spirits. That could be explained as yin-yang eyes. Maybe, and sure, people like that aren't common, but he'd at least heard of them. But Ning Xianxian's eyes, according to her, could do more than just see the spirit world. They could also glimpse a person's entire life and past. How is that even possible?
Show me again.
Huh?
Let me see it one more time.
Huh?
It turned black.
If you want to see it, then I'll let you see it. But then, where is my pride?
Ling Xianxian looked all wronged and pitiful. But after all, 13 is someone who has killed countless people, covered in layers of karmic sin. Even he felt his scalp tingle with dread when he saw those black lines wrapped all over his body. So, what else can he do? If she wants to show him, then just show him. Lin Xianxian closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, her left eye had turned completely pitch black. An indescribable sensation, like a pool of dead water, capable of dragging a person's soul deep inside. 13. As heart suddenly ceased, as if something had clamped tightly around his heart, carrying a suffocating pain. But this feeling wasn't unfamiliar to him. Whenever he went berserk on the battlefield and transformed into a Shura, he would experience this exact sense of standing before an abyss. He actually didn't quite understand why this happened, because right now he wasn't on any battlefield. Yet, he still felt a dangerous illusion, as if the little girl before him was far more terrifying than the thousands of enemy soldiers on the battlefield. Probably because the way he looked at her was a bit strange. Lin Xianxian quickly closed her eyes again. When she opened them once more, they had already returned to normal.
There, looking once should be fine, right?
How did it turn out like this? How did it end up like this?
It is congenital. She has been like this since birth.
After he said that, he gave him a puzzled look.
Aren't you a guard from the general's mansion? You all came with Stuart High to pick me up. And you didn't even bother to ask anything about me.
About what?
My dad told me that my birth father abandoned me back then, simply because I was born with this left eye, not caring whether I lived or died, and left me to fend for myself.
With that said, he cast a suspicious glance at 13.
You really don't know, or are you just pretending?
Me. Maybe.
Alright, then. I believe you. But you've got some serious guts. Not scared in the slightest.
Even a girl like you isn't afraid. So why would a grown man like me be scared?
Yeah, that actually makes sense. But at the same time, it somehow doesn't make any sense at all. Still, 13 is a bold guard through and through. So there is no doubt about that part.
Dare I ask, Master, did you actually exterminate that female ghost just now?
Huh? No.
Ning Xingxing casually produced a small gourd.
Right here.
The moment the village chief saw it, he instinctively stepped back several paces, shrinking away from the gourd in obvious terror.
Oh, dear. Such a vicious, malignant spirit. Why not obliterate it completely and reduce it to ashes?
Every grievance has its source. Every debt its debtor. If a ghost commits evil, I will surely slay it. But if a human commits deeds even more wicked than any ghost, village chief, what do you think should be done then? Village chief, what do you think should be done?
Master, what do you mean by this?
He claims to have a grievance, and I promised to grant him justice.
The justice of the Long River. This female ghost slaughtered 66 souls in our village. Her hands drenched in blood. How can you still speak in her defense?
So you're saying that she wasn't killed by your son?
With just that one sentence. Not to mention the village chief, everyone else's faces changed as well.
Master, please investigate carefully. This is a tremendous injustice. Moreover, that female ghost cannot speak. How could she possibly tell you about her grievance?
Very well. How do you know that the female ghost cannot speak? You know her.
The village chief's expression changed dramatically once more. This time, he said nothing further. Ningxiang waited patiently for a moment, certain that the village chief had no intention of telling the truth.
Very well then. Since each side claims to be in the right, and both parties insist they are justified, then perhaps I should simply report this to the authorities. For the injustice done to Jiang Sanyang Sanyang, we shall present it to the officials, and have the magistrate himself send people to investigate.
We cannot let them leave.
The dark-skinned man, the village chief's son, now stood blocking the doorway with a face full of malice.
They all now knew that the female ghost was Sanyang, so they could not allow any survivors. They all know now that the ghost is really Sanyang, so we can't leave any witnesses alive.
No way. You're actually planning to kill us to shut us up.
So what if we are...
The black-skinned man's face twisted into something savage, completely unrecognizable from the fawning, bootlicking coward he was moments ago.
Sanyang cannot speak a word, so she can never tell anyone about the injustice done to her. I don't know how you found out the truth, but if we let you walk away, even if we somehow escape Sanyang's vengeance, we'll never escape the authorities. Better to go all the way and finish this once and for all.
I urge you turn back while you still can. But before he could finish his plea, the black-skinned man had already snatched up a hoe and swung it viciously toward him. 13 saw it coming and reached out to stop him, but the very instant he raised his hand, a fierce wind howled out from Ning Xianxian's gourd,
In a sudden rush, the gourd that was supposed to have sealed the ghost had never been properly air-dried at all.
Wasn't she supposed to be captured? 三娘我错 I was wrong. Please, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Master, save me. I was blinded by greed just now. I won't dare anymore. I swear I won't. Master, you can't just stand by and watch me die.
What a shame. But by then, Ling Juanxian had already turned away, not only turning her own back, but even pulling 13 along to leave. Stop watching. Come on. We still have other matters to attend to. Just leave this side to Sanyang. Yet behind them, the pig-slaughtering screams kept ringing out from time to time. He said quietly, I made a pact with Sanyang to give this father and son one final chance. If they repent and forsake evil, restore Sanyang's innocence, and personally kowtow to her in apology, then spare their lives. Unfortunately, they clearly don't deserve it. As for the rest in the ancestral hall, Sanyang will at most give them a good scare. She won't actually take their lives, so rest easy. With that, 13 said no more. He had been with Ning Xiangxian the entire time, so he knew exactly what had happened. Toward the village chief and his son, and all the men in this ancestral hall, he felt no sympathy at all. After all, the vile things that happened in this village were so revolting that even a seasoned battlefield veteran like him couldn't bear to hear them. Since we're already here, Sanyang's tragedy must never repeat itself. The problems of this village might as well be settled, all at once. 13 glanced at him, as if wondering how he planned to handle it. Just then, Ning Xianxian suddenly shouted,
Hey, big sister, don't run! I have something to ask you!
13 turned back. A woman was seen fleeing in sheer panic. Ning Xin right behind her. The more she called out, the faster the woman ran. But no matter how fast she ran, she could never get past Ning Xiangxian.
Please spare me, Shangu. Please spare me, Shangu. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm just passing through. Just passing by.
It was a woman who looked utterly ordinary, wearing a faded, patched rukwang, thin and frail. Her face sallow and pale, clearly malnourished at first glance.
Is this Sanyang?
The woman was visibly stunned, then slowly raised her head, and finally looked properly at Ning Xianxian. With just that one glance, her eyes immediately reddened.
So this reaction means you do know her, right? Of course, if you didn't know him, you wouldn't be here tonight. Since you do know him, you must also know the tremendous injustice he suffered. So, why don't you tell me, what exactly is so strange about this village?
There is nothing strange. Nothing at all. Really?
That is obviously a lie. I'm not a fool. How could I possibly believe you?
She clearly hadn't expected Ning Xianxian to be so blunt, and the woman retreated in panic, pleading helplessly for mercy.
Please spare me, Shangu. Please, let me go.
Or else, I won't let you go.
Hearing this, the woman grew even more terrified, and finally broke into soft, sobbing cries.
With you crying like this, people who don't know better might think we're the ones bullying you. We're truly not bad people. Look at my attire. I'm from Shuzhong Temple, here to help resolve the problems in your village.
Are you from Shuji Zhongguan? 那道道教不是?
That is not it. That is my master. But if you already know my master, that couldn't be better. So, can you tell me what is going on here now?
The woman still hesitated a little, and refused to speak. Ning Xiangxian immediately gave her a strong dose of tough medicine.
If you really won't tell me, I can't force you. But look, as long as this village's problem remains unsolved, the Yinhuan will never be truly eliminated. Your future days might end up even worse than Third Nyang's. Sister-in-law, how exactly did Third Nyang die? You know very well. Aren't you really afraid at all?
What? I'm really scared. But what can I do? I'm just a weak woman. I can't do anything.
Sen, leave it to me. I'm not some helpless woman. Things you can do, I can.
I'll tell you a little. But you can't tell anyone I said this. Otherwise, my fate will be worse than Sanyang's. I'm not afraid of death, but I don't want to die like that.
Don't worry. I promise not to get you involved.
Only then did the woman finally relax. She told Ning Xianxian everything about Aru village, truthfully. It turns out that after Sanyang, drew the curse. The first to seek revenge wasn't the village chief and his son, but all the long-lived elders of Aru village. Why was that?
Our village has a well called Daughter Well.
When that well is mentioned, the woman's expression changed at once.
They say there is a water ghost of unknown origin living in the well. Every year, it demands a human life, and it is very picky, only accepting tender young girls. The elders in the village make offerings to the water ghost. After the offering, they drink the well water, and then they can live to 100. Only the men are allowed to drink from Daughter Well. If a woman drinks it, she falls ill. That is why only the men live long lives. There are no girls in this village, because every one of them is drowned at birth. They throw the dead infants into the well, which serves as the offering to the water ghost. With all the girls gone, the men have no choice but to find wives from other villages. In earlier years, women from other villages did marry into ours, but later on, every woman who married in died under mysterious circumstances. After that, no decent family would let their daughter marry here. Women from outside no longer wanted to come, so the men in the village turned to buying brides. That is how I was sold into the village. So was third aunt. The women in this village must owe 0, keep giving birth to sons, while 0 o'clock .44. Oh, they re 0 hours 0 minutes, and 4 seconds alive .26. Oh, women who can't bear sons end up just like Senya.
At this point, the woman burst into tears.
We've all had enough of this life, but none of us dared to fight back. Any resistance means a brutal beating. Beaten to death. It wasn't until after Sanyang died and transformed, though she became a vengeful ghost. She never harmed any woman or child in the village. I think she wants to wipe out every man in this village. Once all the men are dead, things like this will never happen again.
After hearing this heavy truth, Ning Qianqian remained silent for a long moment. But soon, he asked firmly,
Where is that well? Take me there.
The woman didn't dare, just timidly shaking her head.
You've already told me everything. It is too late to be afraid now, isn't it? Besides, even if you don't take me, I can still find it. I just want to save some time. But your husband is inside that ancestral hall too. Right, I'm afraid I can't afford to wait. And neither can he.
As if to prove his words, another agonized scream of a man suddenly came from the ancestral hall. Though no one knew if it was her husband, she was still trembling all over in fear.
Immortal lady, please save him. Though the men in this village aren't good people, my husband is actually quite honest. And we have 4 children at home. If he dies, how are the rest of us supposed to survive? Immortal lady!
The woman finally grasped Lin Xianxian's hand tightly.
I'll take you there. I'll take you right now. Yeah, that one. That is the well.
The woman stood in the courtyard, yet didn't dare take a single step closer. She just pointed toward the well and warned them.
That iron chain must not be pulled. Pull it, and it rings. Horrible sounds come from inside. Like someone crying, or like ghosts shrieking. And then green poisonous mist billows out, making people dizzy and nauseous. Once the poison gas appears, you have to recognize a girl. No girl available. Then you have to endure a woman. Otherwise, the poison gas keeps spreading. And everyone in the village falls ill. Some even die.
That custom really is eerie. Lin Xianxian narrowed her eyes, then widened her left eye. What she saw was completely different from before. The well was still the same well. But at the mouth of the well, she could faintly make out something green, like mist. It was very faint. So faint it was completely invisible to the naked eye. This must be the green poisonous gas the woman mentioned. Even though Lin Xianxian had been tricked by her master, she still didn't dare forget his teachings. Besides, subduing demons and vanquishing evil is the rightful duty of any Taoist. Since she ran into it, she had to handle it properly. But how exactly? She circled the well once, and finally her gaze settled on that thick black iron chain. Just as she reached out, the woman suddenly screamed in terror.
Don't touch it! Don't touch it! Didn't I just tell you? Don't pull it!
But how would Bra know what is down there?
The woman stared fixedly at him. After a long moment, though she said nothing, she instinctively took 2 large steps backward. Ning Qianqian took it all in and said no more. She simply reached up and grasped the iron chain, yet did not pull it upward, only gave it a forceful stir. Almost at once, a piercing sound rose from within the well. They're dead!
A little one went to sleep, slept to death.
A little one at work, carried off dead by firewood.
A little one played with the paws, broke and died. A little one played pretend, got eaten up. One grown up, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely.
Even he himself couldn't help but shudder suddenly.
An adult.
I don't get it. What the hell is this singing? This is way too creepy. 13 remains calm and composed, but even his usually serene face furrows slightly. At the same time, the green mist surging from the well grows thicker and thicker. Just as the woman warned, as long as the chain stays still, it is fine. But the moment it moves, green poison gas pours out.
Oh no, this stuff is toxic. Don't breathe it in.
With that, Ning Xianxian quickly pulls 2 egg-sized black pills from her robes, stuffs one into her own mouth first, swallowing it with effort, then presses the other to 13's lips.
Hurry, take it. Take it, and you won't be poisoned.
I'm not afraid of poison.
13 turns his head away in refusal. But what makes him even more nervous is that no woman has ever been this close to him before. It hasn't been taken yet.
Stop messing around. People could die.
13's face flushes slightly, yet his tone remains perfectly righteous.
I'm innately immune to all poisons. Just look after yourself.
Huh? Xianxian was about to call him out for bluffing. Even his master wouldn't dare claim to be immune to all poisons. So how could an ordinary guy like him pull it off? Yet 13 isn't he lying. He truly isn't afraid of poison. Immune to all poisons since birth. The green mist, like thin smoke, suddenly surges violently, making the well mouth look just like a boiling cauldron. Be careful. Something's about to come out.
Where is this little girl come from? She looks so soft and smells so sweet. Is she my offering?
He raised his head, peering through his thick black hair toward Ning Xianxian. Just as he was about to let out an even more horrifying laugh, his laughter suddenly froze on his ghostly face. Then he started backing away rapidly, as if he'd seen something utterly terrifying. The female ghost tried to flee back into the well. Seeing this, Xian flicked her wrist swiftly, and 4 copper coins shot out. The coins struck his 2 twisted, skinny legs, and with a crisp cracking sound, his leg bones snapped in 2. The female ghost let out another agonized shriek, collapsing face down without even struggling anymore. She just started trembling violently and kowtowing frantically.
Great deity, spare me! Great deity, spare me!
Ling Xianxian, who had just drawn her sword, was utterly dumbfounded.
No way!
That is it.
She surrendered already. The fight hasn't even properly started yet. But the clear-sighted bystander, 13, noticed something strange. He had the feeling that while the female ghost was begging Ning Xianxian, it wasn't really him she feared.
Speak! What manner of demon are you? Why have you come to harm the people of this village?
I am no demon. And I have never harmed a single soul.
Huh! You devour so many young girls every year, and yet, you claim you've harmed no one.
But little fairy, those girls were already dead when they were cast down. If I did not consume them, they would only rot and breed maggots anyway. In that sense, am I not helping to purify the water for them?
Nothing but sophistry!
Ning Xianxian pointed with a copper saliva sword in her hand. The other could see only a forehead, shrouded by long hair. Red child.
If not for you, establishing this longevity right, how could the villagers have fallen into such utter inhumanity? Though you did not personally slay those girls, you must have led the villagers astray.
Even so, I never forced them to do it. It was their own insatiable greed. They chose to sustain me. It is not my fault.
You still dare to argue?
The female ghost dared not speak again. Yet her fingers, clawing at the ground, kept scratching and scratching, though her long hair completely veiled her face, hiding her expression from view. Ning Xianxian could still tell that she remained utterly unconvinced. Still, no matter how unconvinced she felt, the female ghost did not dare act presumptuously again, not even daring to lift her head any higher. For the moment she raised her gaze, she would meet a pair of golden vertical pupils. Though it appeared to be merely a small snake, the female ghost could still sense the overwhelming, suffocating pressure bearing down on her, as though it were silently intoning to her, "I will devour you, devour you, devour you." The female ghost was utterly terrified, trembling uncontrollably. Ning Xiangxian, however, still felt puzzled. "You are clearly so timid and cowardly, yet how dare you commit such heinous deeds? You're clearly so timid. How dare you commit such atrocities? Admit it. Wasn't it you? Who is backing you up? What ghost is behind you?"
No, really, none at all. I'm really not some demon or monster. I was originally the household god of the village chief's family.
You? A household god. Don't insult those two words, please. A proper household god protects the family and keeps the home safe. But you devour children's every single day.
I really was, honestly. Back then, I truly was.
It was a very long time ago.
Well, not exactly. This village has had its chief for nearly 200 years now, hasn't it?
He is probably feeling guilty, so his voice gets quieter and quieter, until in the end it is barely louder than a mosquito's buzz.
Back then, something happened.
Speak up. I can't hear you clearly.
The female ghost immediately shouted loudly.
The village chief's son fell ill and died, and he blamed me for failing to protect the family. So he threw my spirit tablet down the well. The man who dug this well must have known feng shui techniques. So after my tablet was tossed to the bottom, for some reason, I could never get out again. Later, trapped inside, I was so cold and so hungry, and I still couldn't be reborn. That is how I came to be.
The resentment has built up to this point. The female ghost's voice carries such grievance.
But at first, I never wanted to eat the children. They were the ones who threw them in themselves.
The customs in this village were already rotten. Sons prized over daughters. They only wanted sons.
Whenever a family had a daughter, they treated her like a money loser. They wouldn't raise her properly. Later, there was one family who gave birth to 5 daughters in a row. The 6th child turned out to be another daughter.
In a rage, he drowned the baby.
After drowning her,
probably afraid someone would find out,
he secretly threw her into the well. I didn't eat her at first. That child lay there for more than 10 days. Only when she had started to rot did I finally eat. Later, I appeared to that family in a dream. I told them I had eaten their daughter and that I would guarantee them a son. At first, they didn't believe me. But when she conceived again, it really was a boy. Only then did they believe. And that very night he was born. They came to make an offering to me. I thought at most he'd bring something like a pig's head. Who could have known he threw his youngest daughter down to me as well? The kid was about 4 years old back then. When they threw him down, he hadn't built up any resentment yet. I couldn't bear watching him struggle and float on the surface. The child just kept crying and crying. It was so cold down in the well. In less than a single day, the child froze to death. He died, yet no one came to retrieve the body. So in the end, I had no choice but to eat him. After that, the village started spreading tales that offerings to me would make any wish come true. At first, it was just idle gossip. But somehow, it got passed down through the generations. They said if you drank the water from this well, you could live to 100. But honestly, none of that has anything to do with me. I have no power to grant anyone longevity. Every now and then, I drop some jade pieces down there, just to frighten people. That is all. Really, little fairy, do you believe me?
Ning Xianxian didn't believe a single word. She merely gave a cold snort, then took out a small gourd and ordered the ghost, "Get in."
What is that thing? Are you going to seal me away? But I don't want to go.
The ghost had barely gotten half the sentence out when she spotted the flash of a red snake tongue flicking from inside Ning Xianxian's sleeve. The moment those golden vertical pupils locked onto her again, she immediately shut her mouth, not daring to make another sound. In a flash, she darted, turning into a wisp of black smoke, and slipped straight into the gourd. Fine. Sealed away then. Better than getting eaten, at least. That is what the ghost thought to herself.
13th brother, let's talk about something. Okay, about what happened tonight. Promise me you won't tell a soul. Just keep it buried in your gut. Alright.
Why should I agree to that?
Because we're on the same side.
Since when are we on the same side? I am. I'm the general's person.
Then you should listen to me even more. Why wait? Until I become the general's wife. Even the general will have to listen to me. So why wouldn't you?
13's advancing steps falter.
You.
Weren't you unwilling to marry him?
I am willing. I'm quite willing, though. He doesn't look great, and his temper's awful. Marrying him should let me live the good life, feasting on delicacies and fine liquor. These days, if you can be a salted fish, who'd want to put in any effort? Anyway, I don't want to try anymore.
13 falls silent, clearly very unhappy with that answer. His face dark and sullen.
Don't get your hopes up. No delicacies for you. No fine liquor either.
No. Is your general really that stingy?
He is not stingy. He is just poor.
A general, and still poor.
I don't believe it.
Believe it or not, he is poor.
Fine. I don't care if he is poor or not. I just need to know if you agree to keep it secret for me.
13 says nothing, so she gazes at him with those pitiful eyes, and step by step backs him right up against the big tree. As 13's back hits the trunk, the little girl is already right up against his chest.
13th brother, look into my eyes.
Almost as soon as the words leave her mouth, his left eye has completely turned black.
13th bro, look into my eyes.
13's breath suddenly hitched.
13th bro, repeat after me. You hear nothing. You see nothing. You remember nothing.
Hearing this, 13 finally shifted his gaze from her left eye to her face. Gotta admit, this girl's got a face that could make any man fall, head over heels. Yet, she actually thinks she can hypnotize him.
You really think I'm an idiot?
No.
Ning Xianxian frowned in confusion, wondering why her hypnosis wasn't working.
Say it. Why aren't you repeating after me?
Repeat after you, then let you plant your illusion technique. Forget everything, and then I wouldn't be able to say a word.
Is that so?
Your little tricks don't work on me.
What the hell are you? What are you really?
Of course.
After 13 suddenly paused, he finally spoke coldly.
No.
He just said that, but now Lin Qianqian doesn't believe it.
If you're lying, then you're human. You must be a real human. But that is so weird. How can an ordinary person be this strong? Let me tell you something. Since I came down from the mountain, this is the first time I couldn't take down an ordinary person.
Whoever said I was an ordinary person? Who told you I'm just an ordinary person?
Yeah, you're anything but ordinary anyway. After all, you've got so many of those black 13 stripes on you.
What else?
Nothing. But 13th brother, how are you so badass? How do you do it?
13 keeps a cold face and refuses to answer her. So Ning Xianxian just keeps pestering him with questions. And finally, she just starts acting all spoiled and shameless.
It is fine. If you don't answer me, I'll just keep asking and asking anyway. Keep on asking forever and ever.
You're a young lady. How can you be so shameless?
Stuck with her clinging to him. 13 has no idea what else to say,
and can only mutter a sullen reply in the end.
No reason. I'm just born this way.
Wow, being born with it makes you even more amazing. Hey, you're already this incredible, so your general must be even more badass. Right.
13 doesn't he respond, so Ning Xianxian lets out another. Hey,
why aren't you saying anything? Is your general not up to it?
Who said he is not? He is.
He is very capable. Very capable. 13 bites down hard on the words, as if stressing something important. Ning Xianxian just a little mountain girl. How could she possibly get it?
If he is very bare, then he is very bare.
Why you're so loud?
Miss, you'll be entering the capital tomorrow. But it is already quite late today. And the city gates have closed. So, you'll have to stay here for the night. Don't worry about it being too late. Rest assured, Miss, this is one of Ning Manor's own estates. The rooms have been prepared in advance. So staying here is just like staying in the main residence.
Ning Shensheng didn't seem to mind much, and simply gave a small nod.
So this must be the second young miss.
This old servant is Nong Changzheng.
Please just call me Old Ning. You must be hungry, miss. There is really nothing fancy here in the villa. Just some simple, plain food prepared. Please make do with it for tonight. And tomorrow, once you're in the main residence, it'll be much better.
Back when Immortal was in the mountains, sometimes a single steamed bun was enough for the whole day. So of course she wouldn't mind simple food at all. But the moment she stepped into the inner room and saw the table covered with luxurious delicacies. Her inner voice immediately went, "This is what you call simple food." Do rich people have some kind of serious misunderstanding about what plain fare means? But she figured it was just polite modesty. So she didn't say anything more. She simply smiled and said, "Very well. Thank you for your hard work."
Not at all. Not at all. It is only proper. Please take your seat, second young miss.
Ning Xiangxian didn't hold back at all. She immediately sat down, but then she remembered she was about to become a proper young lady of the grand residence. So she couldn't act too boorishly, so she pretended to be reserved and didn't pick up her chopsticks yet. Only after everyone else was seated did she finally very slowly and gracefully pick up her chopsticks. Then she went straight for the biggest piece of braised pork on the plate and immediately stuffed it into her mouth.
This is heavenly.
How many meals has he had today?
This old slave doesn't know either. Chunxiang, where is she? Where the hell did she go? The second young miss is asking you something. Hurry up and get over here.
Coming.
An honest-looking woman rushed in frantically. Upon seeing Ning Xiangxian, she immediately tailed down and kowtowed twice with loud thuds.
Forgive me, second young miss. It was my worthless boy who offended you. This humble servant will take him away right now. Please, don't be angry.
Punish him as you see fit.
Just spare him this once. He is still just a child who doesn't know any better.
Don't be like this. I have no intention of punishing your child. I'm just asking how many meals he has had today. Upon hearing this, the woman's face instantly turned pale.
Just normal meals. As many as I eat. He eats the same. But if we count the bowl you gave him, then this is his fourth meal.
Actually, she is telling the truth. This child really has only had 4 meals today. But let's not mention the first 2. The third meal alone was enough for 4 grown adults. Impossible. Look at his belly. It is about to burst. Xian Xian points out the truth, and the woman immediately bursts into tears again.
Second young miss, please forgive me. It is this humble servant who feels sorry for the child and gave him a little extra to eat. But I swear to you, what I gave him was from my own food. I didn't take a single grain from the manor.
Really? I didn't.
Please don't drive my mother and son out of the manor. Please, I beg you.
Sigh. That is not what I meant. Do I really seem that terrifying? Don't always act like this.
He felt he couldn't explain it clearly.
Forget it. Take the child downstairs. But tonight, no matter what, do not feed the child anything else. He'll get sick.
Second young lady, rest assured, this humble one will watch over her properly and never let her eat again.
Ning Qian sensed that the madam had misunderstood him again. But right now, it was hard to explain clearly. Besides, she clearly hadn't told him the full truth, so he decided not to press further. Still, some things simply can't be avoided. In the middle of the night, something happened to the child after all.
My child! My child! Where are you? Don't scare your mother like this. Come out quickly.
The madam's voice, choked with sobs, drew closer from afar, finally waking Ning Qian, who had been sleeping soundly.
What is going on? Why all this noise so late at night?
Though still groggy, he still put on his shoes and got out of bed. When he pushed open the door, the woman's cries became even clearer.
Come out quickly. Don't scare your mother, my child.
My child!
Mother was wrong. Mother won't tie you up anymore. Never again. Please come out.
He instantly realized the child from earlier was missing. Recalling the odd sensation when he touched the child's head earlier, he immediately turned back into the room, threw on some clothes, and rushed out the door.
My child! You nearly scared your mother to death, running around in the dead of night, like this!
You!
The rest of her words, the woman was too terrified to speak, because she saw the child lift his head with a dazed, foolish look, and stare right at her. Then lower his head again and keep digging up the dirt. But the soil he dug wasn't for playing. He was stuffing it all straight into his mouth.
Did you all see that? He is eating dirt. How can he even swallow it? Yeah! Now, look at this fool boy's belly. Is it about to burst?
I already sensed something was off this afternoon. The boy usually eats a lot, but this afternoon he ate far more than usual. He devoured all his parents' food by himself and still wasn't satisfied, kept demanding more and more. In the end, I went to the kitchen and gave him all the rice crust stuck to the pot. He ate it and still wanted more.
How could such a small child eat so much?
No kidding. Even Han Er-Niang was frightened when she saw it. She didn't dare feed him anymore, so she ended up running over to the second young lady's place. Didn't she? And he ended up eating another whole bowl of rice there. Later, when Han-Niang realized something was really wrong, after bringing the child back home, she tied his hands and feet so he could sleep. Who would have thought he'd bite through the ropes himself and run out?
What in the world is going on? Has he gone mad?
I think he's been possessed.
Second miss, could you take a look at the child?
Are you talking about me?
Just now, this old servant had a chat with Steward Hai, and we've heard about all your remarkable deeds along the way. This old servant has caught wind of some of them. So, what do you think?
I suppose I could take a look. But are you sure you can decide on your own? Shouldn't we ask the child's mother first? If he is not willing, then it'd be hard for me to step in.
Chunxiang, come here quickly and beg Second Miss. Do you want your boy to live or not?
That lady actually has no idea what abilities Ning Xianxian possesses, but she has complete faith in you. Seeing him say that, the steward immediately knelt and crawled over to Ning Xianxian's side.
Ah, Miss, you are magnanimous and kind-hearted. You are a living bodhisattva. Please save my child.
Stop crying. I never said I wouldn't help you. Just take the child back inside for now. Meow. Fang Fang.
Ah, you can't eat anymore. Keep eating and you'll burst.
But Connor won't listen. He just keeps crying and fussing non-stop. At this moment, Ning Xianxian was carefully observing the room of Connor and his mother. She examined everything closely. There was nothing unusual in the room. The only thing off was Henner himself. The child was the real anomaly. Did he go somewhere unclean during the day?
No, he didn't. Just playing near the manor. It is not just the kids from his manor playing together every day. Just those few spots. Nothing unclean about them.
Mr. Ning Xian said that when he speaks of unclean, it is not something visible on the surface. But this sort of thing takes forever to explain to ordinary people, so he simply asked again, then called the other children over and asked them, see where they went to play during the day. We might learn something. Steward Ning understood at once and immediately ordered his men to fetch the children. The men returned with 3 boys and 1 girl. Ning Xianxian's gaze quickly swept over the 4 children. In that glance, she saw that all of them seemed tainted with something unclean. This proved that the place where they played during the day was indeed problematic. Yet, despite being so young, they all stared at her with clear wariness, their guard up completely. She knew there was definitely something amiss here, but she said nothing, merely glancing at Steward Ning. Steward Ning was a shrewd man and understood immediately.
Where did you guys take Honor to play today?
By the river. And in the fields out back.
Did anything strange happen to you? Or maybe run into some strange person? Especially Honor. What did he do?
Digging for autumn grubs, catching little fish, throwing stones.
That all sounds pretty normal.
Think harder now. Did you forget anything important? Something you haven't said?
The 3 boys glanced at each other. Something flickered in their eyes, something only they could understand. And finally, they all shook their heads. Only the girl, whether from fear or not, kept her head down, shrinking behind her mother, as if terrified of something.
Since the kids don't know anything, just send them home.
Yeah, that is it.
Sir, I really thought they knew something. That is why I called them here to ask. Once they talked, we'd settle all the problems with them too. But since they won't say anything, since they won't admit it, I mean, since they claim to know nothing, then perhaps only He is affected. As for me, I'll simply cure Hao. As for the rest of you...
The rest goes without saying. Ning Xianxian didn't finish her sentence, but anyone could tell there was more to it. The little girl's mother instantly grew tense.
Second Miss, what do you mean by that? My daughter won't be in any trouble, will she?
She should be fine.
But Ning Xianxian sounded far from certain.
If what you said earlier is true, if they merely went to the riverbank and played in the fields for a while, then naturally, nothing will happen to them unless they did the exact same thing as Hanner, or something closely related to what Hanner did. In that case...
What would happen then?
Dondar says hire for hires right now. That is how they'll end up later.
The moment those words were spoken, the woman gasped in horror. The children finally turned pale and looked toward Hannah, who was tied to the bed, convulsing non-stop. The three boys once again glanced at each other.
You look at me.
Though they still didn't speak, but their expressions had clearly softened with fear. Meanwhile, the little girl was so terrified she burst into tears. Her voice trembled weakly, choked with sobs.
And...
We even kicked the ball! The kid kicked the ball, and it went straight into the river.
The child's mother immediately pressed her.
What ball?
A white one.
The little girl answered timidly, in a tiny voice, stammering and hesitating, which made the mother even more anxious.
Oh, come on! Where did this ball even come from? Just tell me clearly.
Prince and the others picked it up. Who gave it to the kid?
Even though the little girl was scared, she could tell things were serious. So she didn't dare hide anything and told everything with a sobbing voice.
The kid's new clothes got torn by Zhuangzi and the others. The kid started crying, saying he'd go home and tell his mom. So she beat them up. Zhuangzi and the boys were scared of getting beaten. So they found a ball for the kid to play with and told him not to tell his mother. The kid really liked that ball, but it fell into the river. And it was gone!
The more she spoke, the more frightened she became, sobbing and choking non-stop. Still, everyone could more or less figure out what had happened, putting everything else aside. Playing with a ball isn't such a big deal anyway. But at that moment, Ming Xianxian's smile suddenly vanished, and she asked,
That white ball, does it have 2 holes on it? And teeth. Does that white ball have 2 holes on it? And teeth.
When the little girl heard that, she shrank back again, stopped talking and just cried. Then someone muttered under their breath.
The white ball has 2 holes.
And teeth.
Could it actually be a human head?
That wild guess made everyone suck in a sharp breath. The parents of those 3 boys finally realized how serious this was, and without a word, they immediately grabbed their own kids by the ears and demanded.
You still dare to hide the truth? Spit it out, or this is gonna turn into a huge mess.
The kids were still pretty young after all, and after some scolding and a few smacks, they spilled everything.
We didn't mean to ruin his new clothes, but he kept crying and threatening to tattle. We were scared of getting beaten, so we begged him not to tell. But he wouldn't listen, and just kept making a fuss. We already hated him so much. He always relied on being the youngest, crying at the slightest thing. Then, ran home to tattle right away. His mom would come make a scene with our parents. And then our parents would come home and beat us. Sometimes it was obvious I did nothing wrong, but they'd still hit me, saying, You're the big brother. You're supposed to give in to him. But why the hell should we? He's not even my real little brother. And he's always tattling. It's seriously annoying as hell. None of us wanted to play with him. He insisted on tagging along. If he joined, we couldn't play properly. He'd start crying and fussing in no time. We always had to give in to him. If we didn't, he'd run and tattle, and we'd get beaten again. This time, we told him to go play by himself. He insisted on following, and that is how his clothes got torn. We didn't do it on purpose. Little sister even said she'd help mend it. But he still wouldn't let it go. He threatened to go home and tell on us, and make us pay for it. That is when little fatty came up with an idea. We'd make it up to him with something else, coax him into being happy, and he wouldn't tattle. So later, we took him to see that thing. He took it for something ominous himself, and even said it was great fun. It was all him playing with it, nothing to do with us.
When things were explained this far, pretty much everything became clear. So, it turns out, the kids had long-standing grudges. This little pest was always crying and making a fuss, and his mother was the type to shield him fiercely, and never let things go, even when she was in the right. After a long time like that, the 3 older kids were completely fed up with him. Finally, they decided to play a little prank on him as revenge. But after all, they were just children, and had no sense of how serious things could get. That is how it ended up causing such a huge incident.
Now that everything is clear, Steward Ning, hurry and get someone to fish that skull back up. Such grave disrespect to the departed. No wonder the spirits are furious. Now that everything is clear, Steward Ning, hurry and get someone to retrieve that skull.
But Steward Ning hesitated, wanting to speak but holding back.
His expression was extremely troubled. Ning Xianxian seemed to understand it all.
Don't worry, that one isn't some vengeful ghost.
Just throwing a bit of a tantrum after being disturbed. Go ahead and retrieve it. He meant well in the first place. Just remember to light some incense before going into the water, and burn some joss paper, and explain that you're bringing him up to give him a proper burial. Then naturally, he won't make things difficult for anyone.
That is all. Then this old servant will go arrange the manpower right away.
Once Steward Lin left, Han Er came over sobbing.
Second miss, what about this servant's child?
Prepare half a bowl of rice for me, a bowl of water, and 3 sticks of incense.
Second miss, please wait a moment. I'll prepare them right away.
Han Er hurried off and soon returned, holding the 3 items Ning Xianxian had requested. After Ning Xianxian took them, she carefully placed them one by one, then formed a sword gesture with her fingers, gently blew a breath toward her fingertips, and instantly an orange-red flame danced at her fingertips. This move instantly dazzled everyone's eyes again, and the crowd burst into exclamations of awe.
I'm stunned! I'm really stunned! I truly am!
I'm wearing it!
I'm really wearing it! I truly am!
But isn't that hot? That is fire.
You think she is like you? This second miss came down from the mountains. She must be a fairy with real powers. A fairy like her isn't afraid of the heat.
The villagers' murmuring whispers reached Ning Chen's ears. She acted as if she heard nothing. She simply lit the incense with the flame at her fingertip, then stuck it into the half bowl of rice.
Always carrying the 1,000 gold prescriptions, the wondrous doctor's urine, remedy close at hand, bestowing upon this disciple a bowl of water. All calamities shall forever depart.
By the command of the Supreme Lord Lao, urgent as law. Ning the Immortal points her sword finger at the bowl of cool water, drawing something unseen in the air.
Feed it to the child, and once drunk, he shall recover completely.
That water is truly miraculous. After pouring it down the child's throat, Han Er slowly opened his eyes.
Mama, my tummy hurts.
The moment Han Er's mother saw him, she immediately held her son and wailed loudly.
Oh dear, you nearly scared your mother to death.
Seeing Han Er finally wake up, by now, no one doubted Ning Xianxian's abilities anymore. But this whole matter, though it seems to have come to an end, everyone still had their own calculations in mind, especially the parents of those other children. The way that skinny child cried and spoke those words earlier stirred some ripples in their hearts as well. After all, it was just kids fooling around. Before this, they really hadn't thought much about it. But now that they think about it, even a young child can feel wronged. They immediately fell into reflection. Yet after reflecting, they still harbored some resentment toward Hare's family. But after all, they're all folks just trying to scrape by in the village. Nobody's going to fall out completely over something this small. So one by one, they quietly made up their minds. From now on, they would never make their own kids play with that little tattletale again. If you can't afford to offend someone, can't you at least avoid them?
The child was quite badly startled. He needs to stay in bed and rest for the next few days. Don't let him eat too much. His stomach has been overfilled. It will take half a month to recover. Otherwise, later on, he'll be left with a serious chronic illness.
We are truly so grateful to you, second young miss. If it hadn't been for you tonight, our child would surely have. In short, thank you so much. Thank you.
No need. No need. It was just a small effort. However, raising a child is truly exhausting for you, madam. So in the future, it is best not to spoil him too much. Children understand nothing at all. They simply do whatever the adults teach them. Though these may seem like trivial matters, but as the saying goes, at 3 years old, one can see the man at 80. If the roots grow crooked, how can he grow into a towering tree later?
Second young miss, this servant has never studied and doesn't understand such profound principles. But with your kind and compassionate heart, second young miss, what you say must surely be good advice. And this servant is willing to listen. In the future, this servant will surely teach the child properly and never let her be so willful again.
It seems that Han Laila is not an unreasonable woman at all. She is simply too indulgent with the child. Ning Xinfen then said with a gentle smile, Madam,
It is good that you understand.
Thank you, second young miss. Truly, thank you so much.
You all serve in the Ning household, so we are like family. No need to be so formal in the future. Simply serve the Grand Secretary well.
Yes, yes. This servant will work like an ox or horse from now on, to repay second young Mrs. Life, saving kindness.
Han Enyang thanked her profusely once more, with many words of gratitude. Ning Xianfang, feeling a bit embarrassed. In the end, she was so praised that her face turned completely red, so she simply used being tired as an excuse and slipped away. Before she could escape back to her room, she glanced up and saw someone standing right at the doorway. The person was tall with long legs, his features stern and cold. If it isn't number 13, then who could it be?
Why are you waiting here for me? Is something the matter?
You seem quite clever.
Just so. So, I suppose.
13 lowers his gaze to her jade, like delicate face, bathed in moonlight. The little girl's skin so fair and fragile, it could break at a touch. Fine as flowing light. A silken string seems to have formed at the tip of his heart. With the gentlest pluck, the string quivers, stirring him beyond restraint. So his voice drops even softer.
After you enter the Grand Secretary's residence tomorrow, we shall have to part.
So, you came early to bid me farewell. Then, will we ever meet again?
13 nods, and after a moment, adds quietly.
If you are still willing to marry the general.
Willing or not, I must marry him. I don't have 10,000 taels to repay my dear Grand Secretary brother.
13 falls silent.
What is wrong? Are you upset because I said, I don't want to marry your family's general? But honestly, it would be strange if I did want to. We've never even met. I have no idea what kind of man he is, what his character is like, what his temper is like, whether he is good or not. How could anyone know to just say I do? That would truly be against my heart.
His temper is probably about the same as mine, I suppose. His temper is pretty much like mine.
Really? That is great. That is great.
Ning Xianxian immediately felt so relieved, then asked again.
Why don't you tell me more about your general? The more I know, the more likely I can fall for him.
13 froze, his deep, still eyes suddenly sparkling like they were filled with starlight.
Fall for him?
Yeah.
Ning took it completely for granted.
Of course. You have to like the person you're marrying. Otherwise, you'd suffer your whole life. But if the general's personality is like yours, I think I can do it.
13 stayed silent, but his face suddenly flushed red. Luckily, it was dark, so Ning Xiangxiang couldn't clearly see his blush. But Ma Rongyu standing nearby was dumbfounded. Wait, does this lazy girl even realize what she is saying? She actually dared to flirt with our 13th brother. And more importantly, what happened to the cold-faced king of hell?
13th brother.
Why are you blushing so hard?
Impressive. Think again. Aren't you pointing at the wrong person? We've gone over this more than 10 times. And you've checked every single stone, haven't you? My goodness. Think again. Isn't it pointing to the wrong spot?
But the river here is shallow. We don't dare play in deeper water. We usually just throw stones right here. It can't be wrong.
Zhuangzi wouldn't dare lie. It is all the truth. But what they didn't know was, even if no one was lying, that one was already fuming mad. How could it possibly let them off so easily? And so, they groped around in the water all night long. The sky was nearly bright, yet the skull still couldn't be found. Teacher Ning thought this won't do. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He cupped his hands to his mouth and shouted into the water.
Great water spirit, we have come with sincere hearts to apologize. The children were ignorant before. They offended you. Please forgive them. Rest assured, the children have already been taught a lesson. And once we retrieve you from the water, we will surely give you a proper burial. So, please show yourself soon.
Hey! And strangely enough, as soon as Ningguan shouted like that, there was finally movement in the water. By the faint glow of dawn, everyone saw a white shadow in the water, swimming swiftly.
Where is it?
Where is it? Where?
Wait, what? It is white, and it is swimming pretty fast. I've never seen a fish this white before.
What? Fish? That is no fish. It looks like a head.
Come on, stop messing around, man. How is there water on a head?
But before he could finish talking, a blood-curdling scream suddenly rang out. Right after that, someone fell straight into the river, thrashing around like crazy.
My leg! It is biting me! Help! Save me! Help!
Linda Stewart was still on the bank, couldn't see clearly what was happening. But seeing someone fall in, he panicked like crazy. The water's obviously so shallow, yet that guy kept thrashing and choking. He was clearly about to go under. Finally, he couldn't hold back anymore. Stewart Ling jumped into the water too, wading in to pull the guy out. At this point, everyone else in the water scrambled onto the bank. Everyone crowded around the bitten servant. They rolled up his pant leg to look. What? Holy crap. There was a perfect ring of tooth marks around his calf, and they were really deep, and bleeding too.
Damn! These are actually human teeth marks. So the thing that dragged you under really was that skull. Was the one who asked you to go into the water just now really that skull?
Does she not want us to fish her up?
But didn't Second Miss say she is not some vengeful ghost? She wouldn't hurt anyone. So how come she is still full of resentment?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. After all, we haven't done anything to her yet. How could she possibly let go of her grudge?
Yeah. So should we go back and fetch Second Miss without her suppressing that thing? I'm afraid we won't be able to pull it up.
Hearing that, Stewart Ling started having second thoughts. Earlier he was brimming with confidence, but now he is not so sure everything's fine. So, Ning Xianxian, who was just about to catch a bit more sleep, got called back to the riverbank again.
Let me take a look.
By now, the sky had started to brighten. In the gentle glow of dawn, she carefully examined the bitten servant.
That is a really deep bite. Does he have some grudge against you?
No way. Second Miss, how could I possibly know him since I was little?
Do you know who he is? Just to say you don't know him. Being asked back like that, the servant named Diane was stunned for a moment. He scratched his head, looking really conflicted and torn.
What the Second Miss said does seem to make some sense. But this little one truly doesn't know who he is. Nor do I know whether I've ever met him. This little one never makes enemies with anyone. I had no foes back then either.
Take a closer look at this bite mark. The upper row clearly shows 2 missing teeth, while the lower row is all crooked and uneven. Clearly the teeth were badly misaligned. This isn't exactly rare though. Plenty of folks have crooked teeth, but precisely because of that, the more Adian stares at this bite mark, the more strangely familiar it feels, as though he is seen it somewhere before.
Second Miss, this little one may truly know this person. But I just can't recall who he is. After all, it is only a ring of tooth marks.
Ning Xianxian examined Adian with her left eye and knew his nature was pure and good. He was an honest man who would not lie about such a thing. She then said, "Very well. I'll help you find a way to summon him forth and let him speak to you himself. However, someone will need to assist by letting him possess a body. Otherwise, now that day has broken, he cannot come out." The moment she spoke, every onlooker scattered in an instant. Watching the spectacle is one thing, but letting a ghost possess you is quite another. That would shorten your lifespan. Besides, who can guarantee the ghost won't seize the body completely after possessing it? No one was willing. At that moment, someone asked timidly,
Does it have to possess a human? Would another living creature work? Can only possess a human body. What about other living creatures?
Like that one.
Everyone followed the servant's pointing finger and looked over, only to realize he was pointing at a flock of ducks swimming in the river. The whole crowd fell silent. At first, Ning Xianxian thought the guy was just messing around. Wasn't this just screwing over the ghost? But after giving it some thought, she actually found the idea pretty decent. After all, yin and yang are distinct. Possessing a human body takes quite a toll. It is still damaging to the host, but with a duck, it shouldn't matter. Even if it dies, we can just chew and eat it. No waste at all. So although she felt a bit bad for the ghost, she still went ahead cheerfully.
Then just make do and possess that one.
But right then, that human skull wasn't having it. He knew Ning Xianxian was telling him to possess a duck, and started thrashing around in the water. But Ning Xianxian couldn't care less about his opinion. She just tossed the yellow talisman into the water, and the spot where it landed immediately started. bubbling and churning. Like a pot of boiling water had been set there very quickly. A wisp of green smoke rose from it. That smoke clearly unwilling, twisting and squirming, resisting with all its might. But in the end, it was forcibly dragged into the body of one particular big mallard duck. After the mallard duck gave a full body shudder, its little beady eyes were filled with nothing but resentment. Resentful or not, things had already come to this. What else could it do? It had no choice but to swim over itself. Then everyone present witnessed the miracle.
You little brat! Watch how this old man bites you to death! You little bastard! I'll bite you to death, you brat!
The moment Adian heard that familiar cursing tone, he suddenly seemed to see a familiar figure on that duck face.
Dad.
The old folks in the village all knew Adian's dad, and realized it was really him coming back, so they weren't so scared anymore. After all, though Adian's dad had a bad temper, he was genuinely a kind-hearted old man. And at that moment, that big hemp duck actually started crying.
You unfilial little shit! You just left me to die out there, abandoned me! This old bag of bones! Rotting away in the mountains and underwater like this! And now there is only a head left! And a bunch of damn kids are kicking me around like a toy! I can't close my eyes, even in death!
Dad, is it really you? Is this real? You've really come back. How could I have let you end up in the mountains? Didn't I give you a proper grand burial?
Grieving my ass! What grieving? You couldn't even recognize your own father's bones! You unfilial bastard! I really raised you for nothing!
I got it wrong. How could that be possible? Got the wrong guy. 好修改裤带壁后的。
What else is impossible? I'm still choking on my own phlegm here. How crying could my heart not out know where all I tragic am and pitiful? You unfilial son! May you go blind?
May you go blind!
I was actually crying quite pathetically just now. But then, this sudden quack quack popped out, and it instantly made Mingqiang want to burst out laughing. But laughing right now would really be quite heartless. She held it back and said, Sir, please stop crying. If you have any grievances, take this chance to explain them clearly now, so we can help recover your remains and give you a proper burial.
Second, miss. I don't have any other demands. Nursing resentment. My useless son right now is such a failure. Biting him twice still doesn't relieve my anger.
With that, he viciously pecked his son's head a few more times. And only then did he feel a bit better. So now that you've vented your anger, please tell us quickly, where exactly are your remains? Be clear, so we can send a Dayan to collect them and give you a proper burial.
Collect them? My ass. I'm afraid I'll never get them back in this lifetime. These old bones of mine. They're stuck in the beach mud up in the mountains. This old bag of bones here. How could I possibly be fooling around up in the mountains?
But how could you have been up there? Didn't shopkeeper Chen say you went up the mountain to gather herbs, and unfortunately slipped down the slope and ended up getting eaten by wolves?
He said tormenting you would shorten your own father's life. You're just a dumb maggot. A real blockhead.
Adain was left stunned and dazed by this torrent of curses. But at the same time, his heart started pounding with doubt. If his dad didn't actually die that way, then why would the shopkeeper lie to him? A terrifying thought suddenly took shape in his mind.
Then why is your head right here?
That is because, as it turns out,
Adayan's father's death was both an accident and not an accident. 10 years ago, when Adayan's father went into the mountains to gather medicinal herbs, he unexpectedly came across a wild mountain ginseng, and it was the kind that had already been tied with a red rope. When harvesting ginseng, there is this custom of tying a red rope. According to the legends, ginseng is a spirit. It can run away. But once you tie a red rope on it, it is been marked, and it can't escape anymore. But the ginseng KJG Jadan's dad found back then, even though it had been tied with a red rope, still managed to run off. But any ginseng that can run away has to be a top-grade one. So when shopkeeper Chen from the medicine shop heard about it, he took the initiative to approach Adayan's father, wanting him to take him up the mountain to search for that ginseng again, and promised that if they found it, he'd buy it from him for a hefty sum. And even if they couldn't find it, he'd still give him 1 tael of silver as travel money.
All because of that first failed attempt. Thanks to that first failed attempt. Before heading up the mountain with shopkeeper Chen, he first took me to pay respects to the mountain. We burned paper offerings and lit incense, all to pray for the mountain god's protection. I didn't really get it anyway, so I just went along with everything. We even found the wrong one before. But you know what? After that little mishap, the path into the mountains felt unusually smooth. Way easier than our usual climbs. Once we reached the mountain, we used our treasure-probing sticks to part the grass and search for signs. Nobody dared make a sound, afraid of startling him and making the ginseng bolt. We searched like that for most of the day. Just as it was getting dark, I finally spotted him, and he still had that red string tied around him. Right then, I yelled out loud, "Bondre!" They say shouting that pins the ginseng in place. I had no idea if it really worked, but I shouted it anyway. Then, I grabbed my straw hat and covered him with it. Hey! After that, he really didn't run off. Shopkeeper Chen came over right then and said he was worried. It still wasn't enough. After all, that previous red string clearly couldn't hold him. So he wanted to tie another one on him. One that we had brought ourselves. I figured that made sense. So I lifted the straw hat. But the moment I did, he changed!
Everyone thought Adian's dad would say the ginseng had run away again. But what he actually said was that it had changed.
But then everything changed in an instant. He turned into a little baby. About the size of a newborn. That kind of baby. White and chubby.
Oh, man. This one's become a spirit.
Oh, it is a spirit now! So isn't that a ginseng baby? My goodness. How many years does a ginseng need to grow to turn into a spirit like that?
At least 1,000 or 800 years, right?
Amid everyone's chatter, Adian's dad chuckled and went on.
That is exactly what I thought too. So we took off after it right away.
And then what happened?
It still got away. We chased it all the way to that cold pool up on the mountaintop. With a quick slip, it dove straight into that freezing pool.
And disappeared.
Everyone asked in unison.
Then Boss Chen just shoved me right into the water, saying, as long as I fished that ginseng baby up for him, he'd give me 100 taels of silver.
100 taels. Everyone was stunned, all amazed at how generous Boss Chen was being. Only his own son, Adian, shouted out excitedly.
He definitely wasn't gonna let you sleep on that. He pushed you into the water. Wasn't that basically trying to kill you?
Why didn't you say so? That old bastard didn't even ask what was going on. Just shoved me in. The moment I hit the water, I sank straight down like a solid stone weight. When I finally reached the bottom, I actually saw that ginseng spirit. But that was the last glimpse I got.
By this point in the story, the truth was pretty much out in the open.
The second miss is truly kind-hearted and benevolent, and with her divine immortal touch. If someday, in the future, there comes a time when you need it again, just say the word.
Ning Xiangxiang really had nothing to command from a duck, so she simply reached out and gently stroked the big hemp duck's back. Just with that single stroke, her left eye suddenly dimmed with a dark gleam. And very quickly, strange scenes unfolded one after another right before her eyes. Ning Xiangxiang was lost in thought for a moment, until a slightly shy voice sounded beside her ear. It was Damaya.
A second, miss. So it turns out you actually like ducks.
You're the one who likes ducks. Your whole family likes ducks.
Damaya had no idea why he'd said the wrong thing again. What's wrong with liking ducks anyway? Ducks are great. But this second miss only looks easygoing on the surface. In reality, she's a walking powder. Catch one spark and boom. So he didn't dare offend her and could only shut his beak and stop quacking.
So now that your grievance has been cleared, shouldn't we settle some other accounts as well? Like, for example, handing you over to the yin messengers to drag you down below.
No, I'm not playing.
I don't have a headache. I'm not going to the underworld.
I'm scared of playing.
I don't have a headache. I'm not going to the underworld.
I'm just gonna keep floating around.
Damaya's voice was already kinda low to begin with, and now it even had a bit of a whimper. It almost looked like Ningxiang was bullying a poor ghost right now. But what bad intentions could he possibly have? She just wanted to send him down there to start a new life. That is all. But Damaya had his own thoughts on the matter.
He said,
I've been drifting around for 10 whole years. And honestly, life's been pretty good. So why would I want to reincarnate? Who knows what kind of life I'd end up with? What if I get stuck in another miserable, soul-crushing life? I'd rather just keep drifting like this.
That is against the rules.
Rules are dead things.
But people are alive.
Yeah, well, you're dead.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not reincarnating. No way. No way. If you keep forcing me, even if I get dragged down to the underworld, I'll draw little circles and curse you every single day.
Go ahead, try it. Just try.
Ningxian's face instantly darkened, and Damaya immediately chickened out. Still all timid and shaky, he kept whimpering, looking super aggrieved.
Back when I was alive, I had to go work in the fields every single day, rushing from dawn till dusk the whole year round. And after all that hard work, I barely made a few taels of silver. Come New Year, I wanted to buy a piece of cloth to make my wife a new outfit, but there was never any money left over. When New Year came, I couldn't even afford a scrap of cloth to make my wife a new outfit. And as for myself, forget about it. After we got married, I never got a single new set of clothes again. Never slept in even one lazy morning. And never had a proper decent meal. But after I died, every day I just sleep or lounge around. Sure, it gets a bit boring sometimes, but no more work. So why complain about boredom? And I never feel hungry, even if I don't eat. Just come back home for the holiday offerings and feast on the incense and food. Same with housing. Back then, no matter what, I had to huddle in some shabby shack. Now I can sleep anywhere I please. No need to save up for a house anymore. I really love this kind of life, and I don't want it to change. Second Miss, please just let me stay in the manor. From now on, they can look after things during the day, and I'll patrol at night. I promise to keep the manor perfectly safe and secure for you.
What Ning Xianxian really wanted to say was, none of my damn business. And this isn't even my manor anyway. But just like he said earlier, Adian's dad really isn't some evil spirit at all. He thought for a second, then pulled a little earthy yellow booklet from his chest, with 5 big characters written in thick bold black letters on the cover. Celestial Ghost, Aura ID.
Come on, sign it with a duck print, or I won't trust you.
I can't do it. No, it is not about drawing a duck picture. Truth is, I can't even read big characters. I can't draw anything at all.
I'm not telling you to draw a duck. I'm telling you to draw a duck. Sign it. Don't you get draw a duck?
Oh, got it.
Got it. Mama understands. But I can't write. How about a paw print?
Big Maya said, lifting his ducky webbed foot. Ning Xianxian glanced at it, and her face turned green. Still, she didn't lose her temper. She just quickly pulled out a brush again, dipped it in cinnabar, and scribbled 2 lines of ghostly talisman like characters on the paper. She wrote 1 line on the left, 1 on the right. Done. She folded it in half, then yanked Big Maya over by the neck. She grabbed his foot and pressed it into the cinnabar. Then she stamped 2 duck footprints, 1 left and 1 right, onto the paper.
There. That is your duck drawing done.
This counts too.
Or would you rather come out and press your real handprint?
No, thanks. Don't let this little beast fool you. His body's actually pretty sturdy inside. I'm quite comfortable living in here.
He refuses to come out, mainly because he is terrified of what Ning Xianxian might do if he shows his true form. So he'd rather stay cooped up in this duck body. Ning Xianxian doesn't force him. She just tears off the right half and stuffs it into the duck's beak.
Good. This half is yours. That half is mine. Now we've sealed a death pact. If you ever dare to cause trouble or do evil, I'll know instantly. And when I do, I'll come collect you. Big Maya.
His plump body shivers in fear, and he doesn't dare quack nonsense anymore. With that, the matter is finally settled.
Are you sure this is the truth? Don't you find that strange? Drowning is still death, and being mauled beyond recognition by wolves is also death. So what is the difference? Why didn't shopkeeper Chen just tell his dad directly that his father had the corpse foot omen and rode into the pool to his death? Why go through such a huge roundabout way?
because something else happened afterward. But at that time, Edian's father was a heart-dead ghost, probably still in a half-dazed state, completely disoriented. After all, when some people die, their soul floats out and sees their own body, filled with both terror and despair, and they still have to hide from the yin messengers. So they probably missed that part.
Which part?
先看两 stat 慕容羽, then beckoned to 13.
13th brother.
Why are you coming over?
Come here. I want to whisper something to you, so no one else can hear.
And who else could this someone else be? Mo Rongyu was instantly on the verge of exploding again, only to see his family's stoic iceberg, 13th brother, actually obediently leaned his head in. He really went to listen to her whisper. Mo Rongyu's eyeballs were practically popping out. This has to be a hallucination. This damn thing must be his hallucination. His 13th brother could never be this obedient. Yet, the facts proved that his 13th brother would make an exception for Ning Shenxian. At this point, Ning Xiangxian couldn't care less about Mu Rongyu joining his teeth over there, and just obediently and softly leaned in closer, speaking in a tiny voice.
You know my eyes aren't like other people's, so when I pressed on his back just now, I happened to catch a few glimpses of his past. It wasn't clear, but I did see some things he'd completely forgotten.
The girl's delicate fragrance drifted straight into his nose, though his earlier actions hadn't involved much thought. Now, he suddenly felt something was off, but he'd already leaned in so close. Pulling back now would seem too obvious, so he could only grit his teeth and stay put. But when the little girl spoke right by his ear, her warm breath gently brushed against the side of his face.
13's face slowly began to heat up.
At first, it was just his cheeks. Then, even his ears turned completely red. Watching this scene, in Mo Rongyu's eyes, it was another round of frantic gasping.
Impossible. Absolutely impossible.
She must be seeing things. How could she possibly see 13th brother blushing?
But what on earth did that fake fortune teller little trickster say to 13th brother?
Why would he react like this?
This time, Mo Rongyu had truly wronged Ning Xingxing. He didn't say anything he shouldn't have. He simply told 13
that the little ginseng doll is a good kid. That ginseng spirit was a kind little one.
He saw that his hiding in the water had caused Father Ading to drown, and he felt deeply guilty, so he struggled with his tiny body to push the corpse up to the surface. But when shopkeeper Chen saw the ginseng spirit reappear, all he cared about was seizing this precious little treasure. In the end, the ginseng spirit was captured, and Father Ading's body sank back into the deep pool. That cold, deep pool was unfathomably deep. Shopkeeper Chen didn't dare go down to retrieve the body himself, nor did he dare ask anyone else to come. He figured that in a few days, the body would float up on its own. But he waited a full 3 days, and the body still hadn't surfaced. He grew frightened, and only then did he find a substitute corpse to deceive others. He claimed it had been mauled by wolves until the face was unrecognizable, and he compensated the Adayan family with a large sum of silver, considering the matter settled. But as the saying goes, man does the deed, heaven is watching. If retribution hasn't come, it is only because the time hasn't arrived. Now, in the end, shopkeeper Chen has reaped what he sowed and received his just retribution. Though Ning Xingxing didn't know exactly how the authorities would ultimately sentence shopkeeper Chen. 1 life for 1 life, he couldn't escape that fate. It is just a pity about that ginseng spirit, and no one knows exactly how shopkeeper Chen ruined it in the end.
Wasting and destroying that 1,000-year-old essence.
It must have been worth a fortune.
A 1,000-year-old treasure.
It must be worth a fortune,
he muttered under his breath, thinking no one could hear him. But 13th's hearing is exceptional, catching every bit of his little regret, and the corner of his mouth unconsciously curved into a smile, very faint and subtle. A fleeting smile that still caught the eye of Mo Rongyu, who had been watching him all along. Before, 13th brother never smiled at him.
Never! So, 13th brother is really acting strange.
Could it be that little charlatan cast some kind of bewitching spell on him? At that moment, Ling Xianxian seemed to sense something, and instinctively turned her head toward the front of the carriage. Just then, the driver cried out that there was something on the road. Taking a look, everyone was shocked again, but it turned out to be a white hedgehog. A white hedgehog, though not very common, it is not exactly some ultra-rare breed either. But this one is different. This hedgehog is huge, like a little piglet. Stuart Hai stared at the massive thing in front of him. his mind feeling like 10,000 wild horses stampeding back and forth inside. I have to say, ever since he started escorting the second miss, the weird incidents have come one basket after another, as if a day without some bizarre occurrence would be the real abnormality.
Coachman, come down here. Unload all the heavy boxes and luggage from the carriage.
Why do we need to do that?
The second Mrs. Carriage is too heavy. I'm afraid it'll crush him to death. So we're lightening the load a bit. Lighten it first, then run him over again. Maybe he'll survive this time.
But why?
Do we have to run him over? Can't we just go around him?
We could, but I'm afraid he won't believe us unless we try. Have the coachman give it a try.
Although Steward Hai felt that, at a moment like this, he should trust Master Ning unconditionally, his curiosity got the better of him, so he really told the coachman to back the carriage up a bit, planning to go around the hedgehog on the side. But as soon as the carriage moved, the hedgehog moved too. This big white lump didn't even show its eyes. Who knows how it could even see? Anyway, wherever the wheels went, it rode right there. When the wheels stopped, it stopped too. And not just anywhere. It stopped exactly right in front of the wheel. In other words, as long as this carriage moves forward, it will definitely roll right over his body. Everyone watching was utterly stunned.
See, I told you, he won't let us pass.
But why? He just wants us to run over him. Even if he doesn't die, he'll still get badly hurt, right?
That is why I told you to unload some of the cargo, to lighten the load, then finish rolling over him quickly and leave.
Steward Hai. After everything along this journey, his opinion of Ning Xianxian had long ceased to be that of some wild mountain girl. So whatever the second young lady says, that is what we'll do. And so next, the servants hurriedly lifted the fragrant dragon logs off the carriage and called the coachman to lead the horses aside, only then carefully driving the carriage over that white hedgehog. A sharp hiss, the white ball let out a pained cry. Then the curled ball was flattened, revealing a small pointed face, its beady black eyes brimming with tears, yet still stubbornly holding firm. Only after the entire carriage rolled completely over him did his limbs finally go limp, and he spat out a mouthful of blood.
Oh no! He is spitting blood! Spitting blood! Isn't this going to crush him to death? Even empty, the carriage from our residence is still quite heavy.
The servants didn't dare speak up, just huddled together whispering.
Ning Xianxian paid no attention to what they were saying, only hurriedly stepping forward to check the hedgehog's injuries. I know you're undergoing the right to claim your title, endure this trial, and you'll become the White Immortal, right? I know you're seeking your immortal title. Once you pass this rite, you'll become a true White Immortal, right? Though White Immortals are meant to heal the sick and mend wounds, you still cannot heal yourself just yet. First, take this one spiritual pill from me and breathe in this vital breath.
The White Immortal is one of the household guardians, tasked with protecting people by healing their ailments. Of course, he can tell at once how fine this elixir truly is, and with just that one sniff, light instantly sparkled in the little fat hedgehog's beady eyes. He opened his mouth and swallowed the pill whole. The moment the elixir entered his belly, a wave of warmth surged straight up from his abdomen, and soon his entire body was suffused with comforting heat. It felt utterly blissful. In no time at all, the fat hedgehog, who had been coughing up blood moments ago, was already standing firmly on all four paws. Ning Xianxian glanced over and smiled.
It seems he has recovered quite well.
She clasped her hands together and actually gave a slight bow to the plump white hedgehog.
By this most fortunate encounter, gaining a human form in due time, I seek not to succor all living beings, but only to avoid wrongdoing. And if I ever commit an improper act, may heaven strike me with 5 thunderbolts. A faint look of joy appeared on the white fat hedgehog's face, and all his earlier unease and anxiety vanished in an instant, as though a great burden had finally been lifted from his heart. Go on, we should get going too.
The chubby white hedgehog nodded its little head, then turned and left. But with those short legs, he ran slowly and didn't get very far after a short dash. But as he was running, he suddenly turned back around and then spread his 2 hind feet apart, stood up just like a child, his front paws clasped together, and with a wobble, he gave Ning Xianxian a respectful bow. Only after that did he hurry his steps, and with a whoosh he scampered away. This scene caught the eye of Steward Hai and all the servants, and everyone just felt, another day of being utterly stunned. But somehow, as long as it is something happening to second miss, No one finds anything strange anymore. Everything is perfectly acceptable. Only Mo Rongyu likes to throw in a sour remark.
No taste at all. What is so great about it? Nothing worth making a fuss over. There is nothing strange about it.
But if you ever run into this kind of situation again in the future, remember to lend him a hand when you can. Compared to the other four, Bai Xian has a gentle and shy personality, and he knows how to be truly grateful. If you help him out, he'll definitely repay the favor when he gets the chance in the future. But Tian Tian's way of putting it surprised Steward Hai.
Oh my! So she still wants to help him!
Yes, he is just trying to curry favor. Cultivation is hard for beasts, and once they reach a certain realm and break through, they can finally take human form. Cultivating as an animal is no easy feat. Once you've built up enough virtue and reached a certain realm, you can finally take on human form. But the whole process is incredibly grueling, and more often than not, it is a matter of surviving by the skin of your teeth. Take the well-known case of flood dragons and serpents transforming into true dragons. They have to endure the lightning tribulation. Most of the time, one strike and you're reduced to a pile of bleached bones. But if you somehow survive, you ascend as a true dragon. Now, as for this white immortal, it is the same story. He needs to break through to human form, so he has to face his own trial. Among the 5 great immortal families, the white immortal situation is a bit unique. During the begging for wind ritual, besides needing someone to acknowledge him as a person, he also has to be run over by carts and horses. If he survives, then he is successfully broken through. If he doesn't make it, he either dies, or he has to cultivate another 500 years.
Begging for wind? So what second miss means is, that thing just now was actually that great immortal.
Yes, the white immortal among the 5 great families.
But isn't the whole point of the immortal families begging for wind to transform into human form? Lanja then asked, does he look human to you?
Listen to you. If he could already transform into human form, then why on earth would he still need to beg for wind? It is precisely because he wants to properly, legitimately become human that he has to go through begging for wind. Hearing this, Mahai the steward thought it made perfect sense. Then he couldn't help turning back to look in the direction the white immortal had left.
Second, Miss had just helped him out. So would he come back to repay the kindness someday?
Probably, though Ning Xianxian didn't sound entirely convinced. But right at that moment, the huffing and puffing sound came back again. Everyone turned around to look, and to their surprise, it was that same white immortal coming back. But this time, he didn't return empty-handed. His bag was covered with a bunch of strangely shaped fruits. Are you here to give me some fruit? Thanks so much. Then, I won't hold back. Ning Xianxian didn't stand on ceremony with her, and casually plucked all the fruits off her back. Only then did Bai Xianer squint her eyes, smiling as she waddled off on her little short legs, and scampered back into the mountains. It is rare for her to be so thoughtful. Does everyone want some? It is really not that they're refusing to give face. It is just that the fruit looks incredibly ugly, with a really rough surface, like tree bark. And after peeling it, the flesh is still this dark purplish black color. No matter how you look at it, it screams poisonous fruit that could kill you. No one dared to reach out and take one. Only 13 grabbed one. He asked casually.
I have no idea what kind of fruit this is.
But since it was given by Bai Xian, it has to be something good. Just as 13 was about to take a bite, he suddenly felt his mouth freeze shut. He looked down at Ning Xianxian. Don't look at me like that. I really don't know what it is, but Bai Xian is the hedgehog immortal among the 5 great immortals, the one best at treating all kinds of illnesses. The fruit she gives is either for curing sickness, or for strengthening the body and building vitality. Anyway, eating it definitely won't do any harm.
You sure about that?
Xianxian glanced at the fruit in her hand, blinked a few times. Honestly, not entirely sure. But I did help her out a huge favor, so she wouldn't try to harm me, right? 13 fell silent. At that moment, Mo Rongyu snatched the fruit from his hand.
Don't eat it! 13th bro, just listen to what she is saying. None of it sounds reliable at all. Don't eat it! 13th bro, just listen to him. It is totally unreliable. What if something actually happens to you?
13 didn't he bother thinking about the fruit Mo Rongyu took away. He just reached out and grabbed another one from Chen Chen's hand. After staring at it seriously for a while, he still peeled it open and took a big bite.
You!
Then he saw 13's expression turn complicated. First, it looked like pure shock, then confusion.
Spit it out quick! 13th bro, how could you be so reckless? You eat literally anything.
13 didn't. He spit it out. Nor did he reply to Mo Rongyu. He just looked at Ning Qian and said,
It tastes like meat.
Ning Qian froze too, then couldn't resist grabbing one herself and biting into it. The moment she took a bite, her eyes literally started sparkling.
Whoa! This is so good! It is totally chicken drumstick flavor.
No way! A fruit that tastes like chicken legs.
Mo Rongyu still didn't buy it, but then remembered she ate one too, and then she just froze.
Wait, it really does taste like eating a chicken drumstick, but this is supposed to be a fruit.
Ning Xianxian took another happy bite, chewing with pure bliss, and mumbled through her mouthful.
Eating fruit? Yeah. Maybe. This is officially a chicken leg fruit.
What kind of name is that? It is so lame.
Even though she was complaining in her head, for some reason, Mo Rongyu still reached toward Ning County. County's fruit again.
One more.
It is actually pretty tasty.
No wonder.
Then she immediately stuffed a bunch into 13 as hands.
13th bra. If it is that good, eat more then.
This blatant favoritism right in front of me got Mo Rongyu so mad. She almost started fighting him again. And it was 13 who held her back. He gave her 2 more fruits. And only then did she finally calm down and stopped messing with Ning Xianxian.
Did you see that? That is the second miss of the Ning Grand Secretary's mansion, sitting in the carriage.
Doesn't the Ning Grand Secretary's household only have one eldest son? Since when do they have a second miss?
Oh man, how come you don't know a damn thing? You blockhead. It is practically all over the capital already. It is about how our emperor took pity on General Ming for his outstanding military achievements. Yet he doesn't even have a proper wife by his side. Truly pitiful and desolate. So he wanted to arrange a proper, well-matched marriage for him.
That sounds like a good deed.
But the trouble started on the very day he said it. The emperor had just received a new jar of that sour plum brew. He thought it was just mild fruit wine that wouldn't get anyone drunk. But after a few cups went down, with a gust of wind, the emperor was completely sloshed. Rumor has it the emperor declared that given General Ming's character and battle record, only the legitimate daughter of a first-rank official's family would be worthy of matching him. Well, but you know how it is. The noble daughters in the capital are all precious golden branches and jade leaves who'd ever want to marry into that ghost mansion and live on husks and chaff. So every single one of them made excuses and declined. This family said their daughter was already betrothed. That family said they only had concubine daughters, no legitimate ones. Some even cited a need to observe 3 years of mourning for an elder who had passed. In short, everyone had plenty of excuses, but not a single one was willing. The emperor immediately saw through their excuses. He flew into a rage, cursing the ministers as short-sighted, narrow-minded fools. He even declared that in this vast great moon dynasty, surely a perfect match for General Ming could be found. Then, with a casual wave of his hand, he pointed straight at our most respected elder Ning and announced, "You're saved! A civil official and a military general, General Ming, a valiant warrior, and your daughter, steeped in poetry and classics. Truly a match made in heaven." When Elder Ning heard this, he was utterly horrified. After all, his household had no legitimate daughter, not even a single suitable young lady. There was only his eldest son. They couldn't possibly expect the young master to become General Ming's husband, could they? Elder Ning tried to reason with the emperor, but the emperor, still drunk, had already passed out. Later, when the emperor sobered up, he realized he had caused a massive blunder. That colossal mix-up. Wait till the emperor sobers up. He'll realize he committed a massive blunder. So of course, he has to find a way to smooth things over. So he orders Ning Jilu to adopt or recognize her as kin. No matter what, in any case, he must take in a girl and marry her off to the underworld.
So the girl just now is the one Ning Jialao is about to recognize as his daughter.
Yeah. The emperor can play dumb and muddle through, but Ning Jialao can't afford to do that. After all, she is someone destined to marry into the general's mansion. No matter what, they need someone with a proper known background. So this girl is probably a daughter of the Ning family too. Right, just don't know which branch brother's daughter she is.
Sigh. Then this girl's luck isn't bad at all. Getting to marry into the general's mansion, that's still a good thing, no matter how you look at it.
Good my ass. We don't know about other generals' mansions, but the Ming general's mansion. Oh boy.
What's the Ming general's mansion like? Ning Xianxian doesn't know yet for the moment. But as for the Ming Jilao's household, today he really got his eyes opened wide. Before this, they were living at the family estate. But Haivei, the steward, had already sent someone ahead with a message, saying the second miss would return to the residence today. Yet right now, the main gate of the residence is tightly shut. Not just the main gate, even the second gate is closed. And the chief steward Ning Lu, standing at the entrance, even said, "It's all Madam Ning's orders, because the eldest young master is ill. Entering through the main gate would clash with him, bring bad luck. So, Ning Xiangxiang can only enter through a side gate or the back gate." When Hai the steward heard this, his expression changed dramatically.
Lao Lu, don't you know who I've brought back?
Do you know who our future second young lady is? But...
Ning Lu wore the smug look of a petty villain, his tone laced with unmistakable disdain. After all, in his eyes, Ning Xianxian is nothing but a wild girl from the mountains. Even if she's to be adopted as Ji Yilao's daughter, she's still just an adopted one. She's not the same as a legitimate young miss. So naturally, his attitude has grown quite perfunctory. Still, having served in the Ji Yilao's residence for so long, he knows perfectly well what should and shouldn't be said. Ning Lu understands this clearly. So on the surface, he remains respectful, yet his words drip with contempt.
We may have become stewards, but we're still only stewards. Whatever the master commands, that is what it shall be. As for the second young lady, she's merely gained a new background. Nothing more. It's hardly a great grievance, is it? Besides, this is all for the sake of the eldest young master's health. Could it be that the second young lady doesn't want the eldest young master to recover?
What a heavy accusation to pin on her. As if Ning Xianxian were about to walk out the main gate, and the entire illness of the Ning family's eldest young master would fall solely on him. The more Hai Guanxi listened, the darker his expression grew. Though he may not yet follow Ning Shanxian's every lead, he already knows the second young lady is someone of real ability, not someone these petty people can casually look down on. Ning Lu, this blind, Mount Tai ignorant old dog, he'll have plenty to regret later.
Lao Hai ah, you've been away from the residence for some time, so naturally, you're unaware of the eldest young master's condition. The eldest young master is gravely ill, burning with fever every single night. We've consulted every renowned physician in the capital. Even His Majesty summoned the imperial physicians. Every conceivable medicine has been tried, yet there has been no improvement at all. Only then did Madam invite the master to come. And the master declared that for the next few days, should any outsider enter through the main gate, it would clash with the eldest young master's vital energy, worsening his condition, or even cost him his life.
As if stopping mid-sentence, afraid of uttering the taboo, Ning Lu paused for a moment, then looked at Steward Hai with a half-smile. That was not quite a smile.
In any case, I've said all that needed saying. If you, Lao Hai, believe that colliding with the eldest young master's sickly aura is of no consequence, then by all means, force your way in through this gate with second young miss. However, but I must make the unpleasant truth clear beforehand. Should anything happen to the eldest young master as a result, or should he seek accountability in the future, then you alone must bear full responsibility for this matter. It has nothing whatsoever to do with me.
Steward Hai was so furious, he could not speak, yet utterly powerless. At that moment, a fair, delicate hand lifted the carriage curtain aside, revealing Ning Xiangxian's ethereally beautiful face.
So it turns out it would offend the eldest young master. That is why she can't use this gate.
The second young miss is so understanding.
Then, why can't the second young miss?
By rights, if Steward Hai wants to keep himself safe, what comes next? He really shouldn't say more, but seeing Ning Chen Chen being humiliated like this, and yet she still didn't get it, he suddenly grew anxious. He stepped closer to Ning Xianxian and quietly reminded her in a low voice.
Second young miss, you've always lived in the mountains, so you may not fully understand. Although the side gate is still a gate, its meaning is quite different. The main gate is reserved for those of equal or higher status. To show respect, using the side gate is for inner servants whose status is below the family head, like us servants, or the concubines in the inner residence.
As for the back gate,
that is only for vendors delivering goods or vegetables.
The front gate
is absolutely not for you to use.
There are rules like this.
Ning Xianxian blinked her lovely big eyes and asked with an innocent face, but in a very loud voice.
So, steward, by asking me to use the side gate, you mean that, although I am the second young miss of the G.E. Lang residence, my status is actually the same as the servants here.
Well, yes, that is more or less the meaning. But Steward Hai never expected Ning Qian to say it so bluntly. His old face instantly flushed with embarrassment. But Ning Qian seemed genuinely clueless about all this, and added another line, her voice even louder than before.
So the second young miss of the G.E. Lang residence is actually a servant. I had no idea. So the second young lady of the G.E. Lang mansion counts as a servant. Huh, and here I had no idea.
After saying that, she nodded again, muttering to herself.
But it can't be helped. After all, it is my first time in the capital, and I don't know the rules here. But back in our countryside, things are different. Over there, the young lady is the master. When a steward sees her, if he doesn't kneel to greet her properly, at the very least, he'd better speak respectfully. If he says one wrong word, he is getting slapped across the face. Or better yet, the sole of a shoe, the kind that draws blood.
Just that one line, and Steward Lu's face turned completely green. Meanwhile, Steward Hai on the side couldn't stop his mouth from twitching. Just moments ago, he was worried the second young lady was too innocent and would get the short end of the stick. But now, it seems, she is perfectly clear-headed. This second young lady's tongue, though, it is sharp as a blade, not afraid of offending anyone. But damn, it is satisfying, just like that. Even though they've only known each other for a month, Steward Hai is already completely on Ning Xianxian's side. So he spoke up right away.
That is not how it is. Second young lady, how could you possibly be a servant? Besides, the capital has no such rule. A young lady is the master no matter where she goes.
With that, Steward Hai shot Steward Lu a glare.
Hello, you heard everything.
Are you moving aside or not?
Ning Lu would up, but looking downright furious and humiliated.
I'm acting on Madam's orders. There is no way I can make an exception. Old Hai, if you truly have objections, go straight to Madam and tell her yourself.
Why come to me?
Putting on that utterly unyielding, oil and salt-proof attitude, the steward was so furious, he was practically hopping mad. Even though he wasn't the head steward of the household, he was still ranked as a second-tier steward. How could he possibly fail to see what condensation dew was really doing? It was simply Madam giving Ning Xianxian a deliberate show of power.
Steward Hai, tell me honestly, does Madam truly not welcome me?
Is there even a need to ask? Of course she doesn't. But Steward Hai could never admit it out loud. He could only scratch his head awkwardly, forcing himself to deny it through gritted teeth.
There must be some misunderstanding here.
A misunderstanding? I may lack experience, but I'm certainly not stupid.
Ning Xianxian glanced at Steward Lu, then turned her eyes to the tightly shut vermilion gates of Galang Mansion. She let out a cold snort.
Since Galang Mansion does not welcome the second miss, then I simply won't be one.
Just as the one sentence left the steward completely stunned.
How can that possibly work?
Why not? After all, since Madam has already acted this way, there must be her reasons. Why not? Anyway, since Madam has done this, there must be her reasons. Maybe they've already found a new second young lady. As for me, I don't fight with anyone anyway. Where I came from is where I'll go back to.
With that, Ning Xianxian turned and walked away, without the slightest hint of reluctance. What happened to Steward Lu at the door?
No way. She is really leaving. Madam only told me to give her a show of strength, not to actually drive her away. And if she leaves, where am I supposed to find another legitimate second young lady for the old master?
Acting on instinct, he raised his hand to stop her.
Second young lady, please wait!
Wait for what? Not only did Ning Xianxian refuse to stop, she walked even faster. In the blink of an eye, she was gone without a trace. Steward Lu's heart sank at that moment.
Oh no, this is bad. I've really made her angry and driven her off. What am I going to do now?
What else can I do? Of course, report to Madame Bao.
Let her go. This capital is full of people. Yet there is no place for her to stay. Where can a wild girl like her possibly go?
You're right, madam. Besides, we've seen these kinds of tactics plenty of times. For a mountain girl to enter our Grand Secretary's mansion as a young lady, that is a blessing she must have cultivated over several lifetimes. Something she could never even ask for. How could she just leave like that? She must be putting on an act on purpose to show you, hoping you'd send someone to invite her back.
Come back begging. She really thinks she is somebody now.
Mrs. Ning added with another cold snort.
Just you wait. She won't last long. She'll come crawling back begging in no time.
Begging to come back? As if that is ever gonna happen. Thinking back, the only reason she agreed to come to the capital was because the G.A. Long residence paid off her 10,000 taels of silver debt. She couldn't repay it, so she had to sell herself to make up for it. But now this situation isn't her fault at all. It is not like she doesn't want to return and help with the urgent crisis. They're the ones who won't let her go. So if she doesn't leave now, is she supposed to wait until New Year's? As for those 10,000 taels of silver, once she makes it big someday, she'll come back and pay it all off. But for now, she'll just have to owe it. However, Ning Xianxian had just slipped around the street corner and turned when suddenly two tall, burly figures appeared ahead. Number 13 and Mo Rongyu stood blocking the way, one on each side. Xianxian instinctively glanced left and right behind them, and once she was sure no one else was around, she happily trotted over with a bounce in her step. She casually asked Mo Rongyu,
"Didn't you say you were going to the mountains to pick fruit? So how come you're back?"
Couldn't find any, so of course.
Halfway through his words, Mo Rongyu suddenly froze.
The excuse I gave was that I was leaving the palace. How does she know I was actually looking for fruit?
Just the two of you. Didn't anyone from the G.A. Lao mansion follow us?
You were walking so fast. How could they possibly keep up with their short legs?
That is, I was terrified. They'd catch up just now. I moved like a gust of wind.
Right. 13 stayed silent, just quietly staring at her little face. The moment she saw that look on his face, Lin Xuanxuan knew he had something to say.
What is it? What do you want to tell me?
13's gaze flickered, as if he hadn't expected her to understand him so well. Back in the army, whenever he stayed silent, the soldiers and generals would all scatter far away, terrified of getting scolded. None of them could ever read him with just one glance the way Ning Xianxian could.
Did you leave because they humiliated you? Or because it was exactly what you wanted?
Of course, it is because they stopped acting like decent people first.
That is why I left. To that, Ning Xianxian stood tall and unapologetic.
They needed a young miss, so they summoned me back to the general's mansion. But the moment I played along and came, they shut the door in my face. And they even told me to use the side or back entrance.
It is not that I can't walk through those.
I'm just not used to putting up with their rotten habits. That is right. It was indeed the G.A. Lao who helped repay my master's debts.
I do owe them for that.
But one thing is separate from another. Wasn't it Jilang Pu who came asking for my help first? That is why he paid off the silver for me. No one's stupid here. On the way here, I already asked around and found out everything. This is an imperial marriage. Edict from the emperor. He can't back out even if he wants to. When I got here, I'd already checked everything out. This is an imperial decree marriage. She can't back out even if she wanted to. If I don't marry him, they'd have to send some other daughter instead. But if they had any other daughter they could use, then I wouldn't be involved, right? They don't even have a backup candidate, and they still dare to put me in this spot. Not sorry about that. Why the hell should I let them bully me? I'm not even close to them. I've got a bad temper. I don't spoil my elders.
Although Mo Rongyu didn't like her much at first, but this whole thing today, even if he didn't see it himself, just hearing about it, he still finds it ridiculous. And compared to those pretentious, fake-acting noble ladies, he actually prefers Ning Xianxian's real, straightforward personality. Even if her tongue is a bit sharp, this matter really was overboard from the Grand Secretary's mansion. Not to mention anything else, just look at Ning Xianxian's future status. She is bound to be the wife of their general's mansion. Yet they made her enter through the side or back door at the Grand Secretary's mansion. Damn it all. Even beating a dog depends on who its master is. What face are they leaving for the general's mansion? So this time, he said it straight out.
You're absolutely right. I back you up.
13 didn't say anything. Just his eyes looked a bit complicated. But he didn't think Ning Xianxian was in the wrong. Actually, just now, if Ning Xianxian hadn't fought back first, she would have stepped up right away to stand up for her. But when Ning Xianxian decisively ran away, the first thought that popped into her mind was,
she is gone. She is not marrying him.
She doesn't even know why she cares so much about Ning Xianxian's decision. But that is exactly it, feeling a bit upset inside. Ning Xianxian always seems to notice right away when something's off with her mood.
13th brother, you're upset again, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
I get it. You think deep down, I still look down on your general. So I seized the chance to run away. Right.
Isn't that it?
Of course not. I don't want to marry anyone. Okay, before, I was just gritting my teeth because I had no choice. But now that eldest sister-in-law of yours is completely out of line. She is been bullying me so badly. Why should I give him any face? As for your general, I'm actually doing this for his own good. Look at me like this. I don't exactly look like someone who can be a proper wife to anyone, let alone the lady of the general's mansion. I'd definitely be even worse at it. So, if this marriage could just end like this, that would obviously be the best. But if it can't be called off, then I'll just obediently marry him. He won't despise me for it.
He won't despise you. 13th brother inexplicably felt relieved in his heart, and then heard Ling Qianqian continue.
But before we entered the city, I actually had my fortune told. The reading showed that though the journey home would be full of twists and turns, the outcome would be smooth. In other words, no matter what happens along the way, I'll still end up returning to the general's mansion. But with the way my eldest sister-in-law has treated me, there is no way I could be happy about it, right? So, even if I have to go back in the end, I won't let him get his way so easily. No Grand 8 carrier sedan for me. I'm definitely not going back like that. No need for an 8 carrier Grand sedan to carry me back. I'm never going back.
8 carrier Grand Sedan, huh? Do you even know what kind of people get carried in those?
I don't care who rides in it.
Just keep it simple and brutal.
The way he treats me, I'll treat him the same way. As for losing face or having no dignity, that is his problem to worry about. My master always says, a person only lives once, just a few short decades. When you can make someone else suffer, why on earth would you suffer yourself?
This kind of logic. Mo Rongyu was left completely speechless. But deep down, her impression of his master just got even worse.
What kind of master is this? A walking disaster for humanity. Right, just listen to the garbage. He is teaching.
Ning Xianxian didn't think his master's teachings were bad at all. To him, his master's principles might sound a bit crooked, but they make sure he never gets the short end of the stick. Besides, it has always been true. The one who starts trouble is the cheap one. Even if someone tries to humiliate him, why should he care about saving their face? Repay evil with kindness. He wouldn't dare.
Sigh. Alright. Can we drop this already? I'm starving here. Didn't you say there are always tons of delicious food? Just take me to eat. Come on.
Even though Mo Rongyu still had a belly full of complaints and wanted to roast him. But seeing her family's 13th brother already pulling out his purse, what else could she even say? Sigh. So this is what they mean by, a married-off general is like water poured out.
Suddenly, it feels so heartbreaking.
Look at that fancy restaurant over there, with a name like Ascending Immortal Tower. You can tell it has gotta be an amazing spot. The food inside must be so good, it sends you straight to heaven, right?
No idea.
You don't know yet. You still brought me here to eat. What if we spend the silver and the food turns out terrible? Wouldn't that be a huge loss?
Who said I brought you here to eat at this place?
Then 13 casually points past the Ascending Immortal Tower to the little alley right next door, where an old man is pushing his cart selling snacks. 13 says, cool as a cucumber.
His beef waffle soup is really good. Great ingredients, generous portions, super affordable, and all you can eat, no extra charge.
Ning Shuanzhuan stays silent for a long while, but finally can't hold it in anymore.
How can you be this stingy? Seriously, I've come all the way to the capital. This is your turf, right? Treating me to a meal. Even if we skip the Ascending Immortal Tower, at least take me somewhere decent, right? What is this supposed to be?
He is not actually looking down on the old man. Not to mention this is actually a pretty decent little cart stall. Even if it wasn't, even if it was just a dirt stove roasting sweet potatoes, he'd still be perfectly fine with it. But he just thinks Brother 13 doesn't seem like the stingy type at all. So how did he suddenly turn into this? It must be Mo Rongyu's bad influence.
Isn't this your turf? Treat me to a meal. Even if we skip the Ascending Immortals Tower, at the very least, it should be a proper restaurant. Right. What the hell is this then?
You're really judging me with a petty heart. But then 13 just calmly says,
no money.
Ning Xianxian instantly shuts up. Though he figures that as the personal guard of the Great Moon Dynasty's top war god, General Ming, there is no way he doesn't even have enough silver to treat someone to food. But he has no clue how much monthly pay a guard actually gets. Maybe their salary really is that low. Or maybe it is all sent somewhere else.
Fine then. Beef offal soup it is.
He says it super reluctantly, but very soon he goes full true fragrance.
Wow! This flavor is amazing! The offal melts in your mouth. So delicious.
Sitting on that little stool in front of the stall, Ning Xiangxian chows down on big mouthfuls of beef, while giving the boss a big thumbs up.
This taste is incredible. One more bowl.
Actually, Ning Xianxian gets full after just one bowl, but you can imagine, this is their treat. And the 13th bro seems to have set him up on purpose, deliberately dragging him to this tiny food stall right next to the Ascending Immortals Tower. No matter how you look at it, one bowl just isn't worth it. Of course, he has gotta get another one. But this boss, he is the real honest type, and the portions are seriously generous. After downing that huge bowl, Ning Xianxian is so stuffed, he can't even walk straight. He pushes the second bowl toward 13.
13th bro, you finish it. 13th bro, go ahead.
I promise to treat you.
Yeah, you're the one treating me.
But this bowl was ordered for you in the first place.
It is what I ordered for you. Why?
Obviously because you ordered way too little for yourself. Look at how huge you are. How can you survive on so little? So, take this bowl and eat it. Eat plenty.
Or how will you have the energy to serve the general? Though this is just Ning Xianxian's casual excuse for not finishing her food. But after saying it, she realizes it is not just 13th bro. Even Mo Rongyu only has 2 big steamed buns and a bowl of clear soup in front of him. The so-called clear soup isn't vegetarian. It is beef offal soup, with barely any offal in it. Just broth. Only then does she realize that when 13th bro said he had no money, he probably meant it.
Go on, eat up, 13th bro. If you think it is too much, you can share some with Murong.
The moment he hears it, it's going to Mo Rongyu. 13th bro silently grabs the bowl without a word. Of course, he is not desperate for the food. It is just that this is food the little miss specially saved for him, sharing with anyone. He'd be reluctant either way, so he stays dead silent, devouring it like a whirlwind, scarfing it down in huge bites. Mo Rongyu across the table suddenly finds his steamed buns hard to swallow. Wait, no. 13th bro, what is that supposed to mean? Afraid. I'll try to snatch it from you.
He has fallen out of favor. He is throwing a little tantrum. He is about to get all glass-hearted.
After eating and drinking his fill, 13 was about to escort Ning Xianxian to an inn to file a complaint. Ning Xianxian waved her little hand.
Forget it. Forget it. Don't you have no money on you? Why stay at an inn? I can just find any Taoist temple and hang my name for a temporary stay. No need to waste money.
The emperor favors Buddhism over Taoism, so there is only one Chengfeng temple around the capital. But it is full of male Taoist priests there. It wouldn't be appropriate for you to stay there.
What is so inappropriate about it? In cultivation, there is no distinction between men and women.
As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately realized.
Yeah, if we're being strict about it,
he hasn't officially become a monk. He is just registered under his master's name, and has been learning some skills while cultivating. And the reason he has come to the capital this time is to marry into the general's mansion as the daughter of Lord Ji. Even if he doesn't care about the GA family's reputation, he still has to consider the general's mansion's face. 13 is a guard of the general's mansion, so of course he has to think about his general. Ning Xianxian thought sincerely from the bottom of her heart. If she really marries into the mansion later, she definitely has to put in a good word for 13 in front of the general and help him gain some credit. What a loyal and a devoted guard to his master. He must be given a proper monthly allowance. He can't be left unable to afford even the meat in a bowl of beef offal soup, only drinking the broth. But the harsh reality is staring them in the face.
But staying at an inn is really expensive. Do you have money?
Yes.
What do you mean yes? You didn't even dare ask for meat in your beef offal soup just now. Stop pretending and putting on a front.
13 was left speechless, though he did have silver to cover the inn expenses for Xianxian. But just now when drinking the soup without any meat, it really was to save money. Mo Rongyu didn't think that much into it.
And just said outright, why don't you come stay at my place?
13 immediately shot a glance at Mo Rongyu, as if warning him with his eyes not to reveal his identity.
Aren't you staying at the general's mansion? Where's my home?
13th brother, have you forgotten? Last time, when I stood up for you. I mean, the general rewarded me with a 2-courtyard residence. I don't come back often anyway.
So it has been sitting empty all this time.
But this time I'm back, I'll have to stay for quite a while, right? So I had people come over early to clean it up. And everything that needed to be furnished has been taken care of. No issues with that at all.
13th brother tries hard to recall, but he really can't quite remember this matter. After all, his mind is always on border defense and state affairs. And these little things never concern him. Still, Mo Rongyu wouldn't dare lie about it, so he simply lets it pass. On the contrary, Ning Qiangxiang feels a bit embarrassed.
I'm staying at your place. Then, what about you?
Of course. I'll still stay at the general's mansion. I haven't been back for so long. So I should at least go report to the general, right? Ah, right. 13th brother.
13th brother nods, expressionlessly. Ling Xianxian finds their reactions a bit odd, but she doesn't think much of it. She just obediently follows them to the empty residence in the north of the city.
Miss Murong, after the general returns, are you really going to live here? Isn't it said that this place is haunted?
Hey, don't talk nonsense. This is a perfectly fine residence. What is all this talk about ghosts? Don't talk nonsense. This perfectly fine residence. What is all this talk about ghosts and hauntings?
Stop pretending in front of me. You think I don't know you. If you really think there is nothing wrong here, why do you rush us back every time before sunset even falls? And the next day, you won't let us come in until it is broad daylight.
明空否赛了. But his brows were knitted tightly together. Seeing him quiet, his wife lowered her voice again and continued.
These past couple of days I've been asking around, and I heard that every midnight there are cries coming from this house. Sometimes it is a woman's, sometimes a child's. It is terrifying. Though we haven't heard anything these last few days, you should still warn young General Murong. Living in this place, I'm afraid it won't end well. Even during the day while we're working, doesn't it feel eerie and chilling? What if young General Murong moves in and then falls ill, or something terrible happens? I'm afraid the old madam will blame us servants for not being careful enough.
You think I don't want to say anything, but someone as important as young General Moro, how could a lowly steward like me possibly speak up to him? But you're right though. This house definitely has issues. We have to report it upward. As for whether young General Morong ends up living here or not, that is something for the old madam to worry about.
The old madam probably won't let him stay here anyway. After all, in our general's mansion, we have plenty of empty residences.
It is better to head back to the inn.
Why turn back now, that we're already here?
Can't you sense it? This place feels off.
I can feel it. But so what? This is my line of work anyway. I'm not afraid of it. But how can you sense it? Aren't you just an ordinary guard?
How should he explain this? Should he admit he is actually a coffin-born? A coffin-born, as the name implies, is someone born inside a coffin. Legend has it that 3 days after his mother was buried, the sound of a baby's cries came from the grave. Later, his father dug open the fresh grave himself and put him out from beneath his mother. Someone like him was born different from the start, though when he was young, he felt nothing unusual. Later, on the battlefield, after taking so many lives, he realized he seemed naturally attuned to these dark entities. But he had no intention of telling Ning Zhenjian any of this. It wasn't that he feared frightening her. He was just worried that once he spoke, his true identity would be exposed. And right now, he cannot yet be Ming Xuanye. Fortunately, Murongyu squeezed in at that moment, asking with a look of shock.
What is wrong with this house?
Nothing major. It is just a haunted house. That is all.
Ning Xianxian mentioned it offhandedly, completely unfazed. Yet, Mo Rongyu's hair stood on end.
No way! What do you mean, just a haunted house? That is not a big deal.
Then, what counts as a big deal?
Better head back to the inn.
Then, let's listen to 13th bro. Head back to the inn to stay.
No need. No need. This is just fine.
But didn't you say this is a haunted house?
So what? I'm not afraid of ghosts anyway.
Lin Xuanshuan said playfully, blinking her left eye at them.
They should be the ones afraid of me.
Yeah, though this little god stick never formally became a monk, she still came from a Taoist temple. Ghost hunting is exactly what she is best at.
Mo Rongyu instantly felt at ease. On the other side, 13 was completely stunned by Ning Xianxian's playful wink. What did she just do? Was that look flirting with him? No, that is not even subtle flirting. It is outright flirting.
Could she actually have fallen for me?
Just thinking about it made 13 feel inexplicably irritated. Though she knows who she really is, this girl doesn't know. So how could she fall for a man who is not her husband? Even though they're essentially the same person, he still felt this vague sense of accidentally cuckolding himself. 宁仙仙 had no idea at all that in just this short moment, 13's mind had gone through so many twists and turns. His attention was entirely on this house. Such heavy yin energy. Such heavy yin energy. This house's owner must have died horribly, or very unjustly. Hearing him say something like that so casually, even in broad daylight, Mo Rongyu's hair still stood on end. On the battlefield, he never once showed fear. But when it came to ghosts, this mysterious unknown thing, Mo Rongyu was utterly terrified. Ghosts, you know, who isn't afraid of them? Isn't Ning Xuanxuan? Scared. You guys head back, but don't we still need to report to the general?
How could I possibly do that?
Though Mo Rongyu was afraid of ghosts, he wasn't the type to shirk responsibility, so he immediately declared,
I'm not leaving tonight. I'll stay here and keep you company.
The moment he said it, he himself hadn't yet realized how improper it sounded, but 13's brow had already twitched faintly. Ning Xianxian's face instantly showed utter shock. No.
Absolutely not. A man and a woman alone together, like this. How could I possibly share a room with you?
Who said anything about sharing a room? I'll stay in the outer courtyard. You take the inner chamber.
That still won't do. It'll ruin my reputation. Though honestly, I don't care that much about it. But at the very least, I have to consider your general's face. After all, I'm his fiancée. I can't let people gossip about me before he's even married me.
Yet, she said it all so naturally without the slightest affectation. But those words, his fiancée, landed differently in 13's ears, carrying a very special weight. He gazed at the young girl's delicate, ethereal face. Though he remained completely silent, a soft glimmer shimmered in his eyes. Just then, Ning Xianxian turned her head back toward him, caught right in his intense, burning gaze. 13's face flushed red, and he instinctively looked away.
13th brother, are you feeling unwell? Why is your face so red? 13th bro, you feeling okay? Why is your face so red? Want me to check your pulse?
As soon as he offered to take his pulse, 13 immediately hid his hands behind his back, refusing to let him touch.
No, I'm not sick. Just feeling a bit hot.
Hot? In a place with such heavy yin energy, even he feels a little chilly. But since he says he is fine, Lingxian County didn't press further.
Then you guys head back. It is getting dark soon. I heard the general's mansion is in the east of the city, and it is quite a distance from here.
Mo Rongyu surely bickers with Ning Xianxian all the time, but deep down he is all bark and no bite, and he was genuinely worried.
You sure you'll be okay on your own?
Of course I will. Besides, I'm not exactly alone.
With that, he gave a slight lift of his chin, nodding toward the courtyard wall. Mo Rongyu turned his head and spotted a tiger-striped white cat stretching lazily below the wall. Noticing his gaze, IT graciously let out a meow. And on top of the wall stood the speckled hen Ning Xian had brought down the mountain from her void jar. Not sure if it was his imagination, but Mo Rongyu swore the hen was looking at him with utter disdain. The sound of crunching bones suddenly echoed in his mind. For some reason, he flashed back to that giant bird devouring a wolf while going, so good. A shiver ran down his spine, and he didn't dare look again. He turned back.
And the guy was gone.
Mo Rongyu's face paled in shock. Where did 13th bro, such a big guy, and that fiery little charlatan go? How did they just vanish?
13th brother! Star Immortal! Where on earth are you guys?
Where are they? Actually, they haven't gone anywhere. They're still right here in this house. That is why Mo Rongyu can't see them, and can't hear their voices either. It is because at this very moment, although the three of them are in the same place, they are not in the same dimensional space. Mo Rongyu remains in the original reality, while Ning Xianxian and 13 have been pulled into the house owner's new cage.
You've entered the cage. Little thanks.
What do you mean? Entering the dragon, new dragon.
It is also called obsession. People's obsessions vary. Some stem from unwillingness, some from resentment, and some from unfulfilled wishes. If these obsessions don't dissipate, they will ultimately either turn into vengeful malice, becoming malevolent spirits that harm people everywhere, or transform into an obsession dragon, trapping themselves forever in a dragon of illusion, wandering endlessly, never able to find release for all eternity. 13 furrowed his brows and asked back,
You mean the earthbound spirit?
You actually know about the earthbound spirit?
Ning Xiangxian gave him another surprised glance, then continued to explain.
They're similar in a way, but not exactly the same. Stifling is actually the term used in Dongjing. But generally speaking, they are all trapped by their own inner obsessions, able to stay only in one place, unable to leave or reincarnate.
They hardly ever leave.
It is not a matter of whether they can leave. It is about how to get out. Clearly, 13 has confidence in Ning Xianxian, knowing she must have a way.
How do we get out of here?
Just perform the dragon resolution, which means helping the Dragon Lord fulfill his lingering wish. Once his heart's desire is resolved, the heart dragon will collapse on its own, and then we'll be able to leave.
Can you write?
Of course, resolving the dragon isn't hard in itself. The real challenge is locating the Dragon Lord's heart knot. Only then can you find a way to help him untie it. Also, though the Dragon Lord cannot leave the illusion he first created, this is still his domain. So here, he can do whatever he pleases. You could even say that in this new dragon realm, as long as the Dragon Lord desires it, he can make anything happen. Moreover, even if the Dragon Lord was a great benevolent soul before death, after being trapped in the heart cage for years on end, their mindset will inevitably become twisted, turning them tyrannical and cruel, utterly devoid of humanity. That is why being pulled into the new dragon is actually an extremely dangerous thing. Later, remember to stay right behind me, not even one step away. Got it?
Number 13 wants to say, I'm a man. I don't need a woman's protection. Yet, hearing stay close and don't leave. He surprisingly didn't want to refuse it.
It is coming. Later. No matter what you see or what you hear, don't believe it easily. Everything in the heart cage is an illusion. Leaving dragon, Pearl Main Mountain.
At this moment, a woman of graceful figure slowly steps forward. Her expression is gentle and refined, clearly the bearing of a noble lady.
In this rainy scene of falling blossoms, my lord, are you seeking shelter for the night? It is slippery on this rainy day. My lord, are you here seeking shelter for the night?
13. S brow twitched faintly. It wasn't raining at all tonight, so where does this slippery on a rainy day come from? However, just as the woman's voice faded, the sky, which had been lit by a red moon, suddenly darkened. Lightning flashed and thunder roared immediately after. Torrential rain poured down in an instant. A chill ran through 13's heart. Only now did he truly understand what Ning Xianxian had told him before about this world called New Dragon, what it really meant that the Dragon Lord was omnipotent.
My lady, is there no one else in the house?
The woman tilted her head and glanced at him, but only for a moment. Then, she turned back and continued gazing at 13, as if only now noticing that a patch on 13's shoulder had somehow gotten wet.
My lord, your clothes are soaked through. Would my little stray cat like to change into something dry?
It is only a palm-sized patch, and you call that soaked? Lin Xuanxuan was left speechless. 13 remained expressionless.
No, I won't change.
Am I feeling cold? It must be that the rain isn't heavy enough yet.
His tone was filled with regret. Yet he still turned and opened the wardrobe.
Come now, you should still change into something dry.
The woman smiled gently, and once again presented the splendid robe with both hands.
My lord, you can rest assured. My lord, you can rest completely at ease. This is a brand new robe, freshly made by me just for my nephew. It has never been worn. Perfectly clean.
Within those 13 steps, the woman kept her gaze fixed on him, her smile brimming with that chilling, insincere tenderness. Right at that moment, Ning Xianxian's clear and bright voice rang out.
I don't think so. There is so much blood on it.
The woman's face instantly stiffened. She instinctively looked down at the luxurious robe, yet there was absolutely no trace of blood anywhere.
Blood? Where? It is spotlessly clean.
Really? No.
The fake smile vanished in an instant. Ning Xianxian strolled over lazily, casually yet perfectly shielding 13th brother behind her. Only then did she lock eyes directly with the female ghost. His left eye suddenly turned pitch black.
Any blood now.
And he never wears anyone else's burial clothes. A shroud. The woman's expression shifted again, and Ning Xianxian guessed correctly. What the woman is holding is definitely not a real ceremonial robe, but a specially crafted burial shroud. Once 13 puts it on, he will surely die. The plan is exposed, yet the woman shows no sign of panic. This is his heart dragon. No one can escape from the palm of his hand.
Miss, you've really misunderstood something. This is truly the personal undergarment I sewed for my nephew, not some veterinarian.
Then, keep it for yourself. Let your nephew wear it. Mentioning that nephew, The smile on the woman's face vanished in an instant. Her pitch-black eyes locked onto Lin Xianxian, word by word.
I meant for him to wear it, not you.
Ning Xianxian didn't back down one bit.
If I don't let her wear it, then she won't wear it.
Then you can go die.
After giving birth to a daughter, all the refined grace on that face disappeared completely. In its place was a ghastly pale, resentful face, still bleeding from all 7 orifices.
Don't come so close to me. Don't you know how ugly your face is?
She said ugly.
The female ghost's face, still streaked with bloody tears, instantly turned pitch black. You should know, in life she was a renowned beauty in the capital. Before she was married, noble young masters proposing marriage practically wore out the threshold of her home. Yet, this wretched girl dares to call her ugly. The female ghost flew into a rage.
You dare to call me ugly? Say it again! You dare call me ugly? Say it again!
Just as he grinned savagely, trying to strangle Ning Qianqian's neck with both hands, suddenly, the female ghost felt a needle like sting of pain in her arm. At first, she thought it was just an illusion, but soon she saw black totem-like patterns appear on her arm. The patterns resembled flickering black flames, slowly crawling up along her fingers. The female ghost turned pale with terror, and frantically pulled her hands back in fear. She stared at Ning Qianqian in panic, but with that one glance, she saw Ning Qianqian was still the same Ning Qianqian. Yet standing behind her was 13, who had somehow donned a ferocious blue-faced, fanged ghost mask. No, it is not so much that he was wearing it, as a ghostly face formed of black mist now hovered right in front of 13 as face. The female ghost was frozen in absolute terror, overwhelmed by supreme dread. It felt as though the slightest movement would cause those black lines to engulf and tear her soul to shreds.
This concubine was wrong. I dare not anymore. My lord, no. Please, my lord, spare this concubine. This concubine will never dare again. Please, sir, have mercy and let me go. I swear I won't dare do it again.
You can tell right away this is aimed at 13.
Oh, exactly this vibe. This exact kind of killer aura.
Just like Master said, ghosts, you know, they always pick on the weak and fear the strong. When they meet someone timid, they act all fierce. But when they run into someone bold, they chicken out. And when they come across an extremely young and rigid physique, or someone radiating pure murderous aura, ghosts won't even get close. They'll run the other way the moment they sense it. 13th Bro's constitution is seriously so damn useful.
Enough chit-chat. I'm here to help you out. Wanna get out of here?
Huh? To get out, you know what you gotta do. Right.
You actually dare ask if I want out?
Yeah, I get it. Just borrow my body. Simple as that. Deal. As long as you tell me what your unfinished business is, I'll let you use my body for a bit. But before I do, you gotta sign this death contract first.
With that, Ning Xianxian pulls out that little yellow booklet of his and slaps it down right in front of the female ghost.
The female ghost leans in to take a look at the signature page
and sees 5 big characters written there. Xianxian ghost will stuff. And you can tell at a glance, it is definitely nothing good. Of course, the female ghost doesn't want to, but she can't help staring longingly at Ning Xianxian's body.
You're really willing to let me borrow your body? Are you really willing to let me borrow your body?
It is not giving it to you, just letting you borrow it temporarily. But when to borrow it, and how long, that is all up to me.
Then forget it. I'm not doing it.
Lin Xianxian sneered. Take it or leave it.
I'm not the one with unfinished grudges.
I'm in no rush.
Damn it. This female ghost
really wants to smash this brat to death. But she can't, and she doesn't dare. The female ghost glanced at 13 behind Lin Xianxian, but in the blink of an eye, the ghost mask on his face had already vanished, and all the black lines around him were gone too. She blinked. For a moment, she couldn't tell if she just imagined it, but that death stare feeling was unmistakable. She didn't dare look at 13 again. The female ghost weakly started negotiating terms with Ning Xianxian.
That time is way too short. The things I need to do are complicated. A few days wouldn't even be enough.
You're overthinking it. Lending you my body for a few hours is already generous, and you want days.
Hearing it was only a few hours, The female ghost immediately panicked.
A few hours? No way! You think this is just child's play?
But just a tiny bit before her voice got any louder, the overwhelming pressure that had just eased off came crashing down again. She didn't even need to look up. She already knew what was happening. The female ghost chickened out instantly, quickly bowing her head and yelling.
Hey, fine. Okay, a few hours it is then.
Come on. So tell me, what is your lingering wish?
It is the Sioux family. My own nephew. He poisoned my Duke husband and kept me under house arrest.
And in the end, he didn't say much more after that. But from his awkward, furious expression, I could sense something was off.
It is my own fault for being so blind back then. I mistook a jackal for a loyal hound. That is how I brought disaster upon myself and doomed the entire Duke's mansion to ruin.
As she said all this, Su Yue's expression was heartbreakingly beautiful and bitter, full of self-reproach.
Though I was the second daughter of the Sioux family, I was worlds apart from my eldest sister. Yet when I married, I cried even harder than mother did. My eldest sister was such a gentle and virtuous woman, yet she was cursed with a bitter fate. She married a heartless wretch. She bore her husband's family a son and a daughter, only because she refused to allow him to take a concubine. She was given a letter of divorce. Unwilling to endure such humiliation, and fearing it would ruin her children's future, she hanged herself with a length of white silk. After my eldest sister's death, mother took charge and brought her children back to our natal home, having them change their surname to Su and raised them personally by her side. But mother was already advanced in years, so most of the time I took over their upbringing. My eldest sister's 2 children were very close to me, and I cherished them as if they were my own. Fearing they would be bullied by the other children in the household, I kept postponing my own marriage again and again, just to spend more time caring for them. Yet my actions gave rise to all sorts of malicious gossip, until finally my engagement was broken off, and I became an old maid no one would marry. It was not until just before my own death that I learned from that beast's own mouth that all those vicious rumors had been deliberately spread by him, precisely to ensure I could never marry, so that I would be forced to remain in the household forever, caring for his son and daughter. But she didn't want me to marry. The Su family couldn't tolerate an old maid who couldn't get married. It just so happened that year the Duchess of Zheng had passed away from illness, and the Duke of Zheng, nearing 40, needed to remarry. So father found every possible way to marry me off to the Duke of Zheng. At first, I was extremely reluctant. After all, the Duke was about the same age as father. I felt I'd suffered an enormous injustice. But for the sake of the family, I had no choice but to marry him. Fortunately, the Duke was not some useless man, nor was he heartless or ungrateful. He treated me very well. Even after father offended the Emperor and was exiled for his crime, he agreed to secretly take in my eldest sister's 2 children and raise them in the Duke's mansion. But who could have known that this very act would bring back an ungrateful wretch? The Duke treated him so kindly, and I regarded him as my own child. Yet he actually turned against us and pledged loyalty to our enemies. He even went so far as to poison the Duke to death.
At this point in the story, Su Yue's eyes were bloodshot,
brimming with overwhelming hatred. Yet Sushiji's injustice remains unredressed in this world, and he cannot rest in peace.
Hearing this, Ning Xingxing understood everything.
So your dying wish is to kill that ungrateful wretch. Your last wish is to kill that ungrateful wretch.
I want him utterly ruined and disgraced. I want everything he so carefully schemed for to come to nothing. I want him kneeling at the Duke of State's tomb, kowtowing an apology. I want him to do it.
Ning Qianqian stopped him just in time.
Don't you think your demands are a bit excessive?
Su Yue felt so wronged.
An ungrateful ingrate? If you just let him die, he won't even realize his wrongs.
No, that is true. But with so many demands, it is really hard for me.
That is why I said just a few hours isn't nearly enough.
No, it is not enough. 13 interrupted him before he could continue. How could that female ghost dare utter another word of refusal?
Some things, even if the lady herself takes action, may not bring the outcome you desire. However, as long as what he did back then gets exposed, You won't even need to lift a finger. The people of the Duke of State's household will never let him off.
But it has been 20 years already. Who could possibly expose him now?
Su Yue stared at him in a daze. For a moment, thinking he must have misheard, he asked in disbelief.
But why are you helping me? Why are you helping me?
Still wanna stick around? Su Shija, that heartless, ungrateful bastard, a truly vile and treacherous man, deserves to be punished by all.
Such a noble-sounding excuse. Su Yue didn't buy it for a second. But if it really meant exposing that monster's crimes... The female ghost's dark eyes suddenly gleamed.
Fine. I'll change your bandages. As long as I can avenge the Duke. Make that beast regret ever being born. I'll do anything.
That is exactly what I wanted to hear. Without the slightest hesitation, Lin Xiangxiang shoved her little notebook right in front of him. Su Yue already trembling with excitement. Couldn't think of anything else. He immediately slammed his palm down on it without a second thought.
Done! Then, let's get out of here.
How do we get out?
The answer came from outside. Suddenly, Morongyu's voice rang out from beyond the door.
13th brother! Ning Xianxian, where the hell are you guys? Answer me!
The heart dragon is broken.
Yeah, freaking genius.
Ning Xianxian gave a sly little grin and pointed at Su Yue.
Once the obsession is resolved, the heart dragon naturally shatters. Sure, his revenge isn't complete yet, but if we stay trapped in here, how are we supposed to help him get it? He understands that perfectly well himself. That is why the moment he signed the ghost contract with me, the new dragon instantly developed a fracture. Through that crack, we were able to slip right out. As she spoke, she gave the little notebook in her arms another pat. But even though the new dragon is broken now, we still have to properly fulfill what we promised him. After all, we did sign a ghost contract. Breaking it would be a breach.
13 couldn't help glancing at that little notebook a few more times, suddenly feeling the urge to flip through it and see exactly what was written inside.
13th brother, where on earth have you been? You scare me half to death.
Before he could finish speaking, he suddenly caught sight of a stunning woman in the room.
Who is she? Why is she in my house?
Him. He is the ghost of this household.
What? Is this even my home?
Halfway through mentioning Morongyu, he leapt 3 feet into the air. As for him, he lay sprawled flat on the floor, grimacing in pain for quite a while, until the pain made him completely forget his fear of ghosts.
Madam, please forgive my boldness, but speaking plainly about second Mrs. status, entering through the main gate or side gate would indeed be improper.
Mrs. Ning had no interest in hearing this, and her brows immediately furrowed. Still the steward, hurry and speak properly.
When beating a dog, one must look at its master. If you won't look at the monk, at least look at the Buddha. Think about the family second miss is going to marry into. If this is second Mrs. first return to the residence, and she enters through the side door or back gate, once word of this gets out, and it reaches the general's mansion, they'll surely blame us for not showing proper respect to such a grand and powerful family.
You may not say it, and others may stay silent, but how could the people of the general's mansion possibly remain unaware?
Madam, you may not be aware. The general's mansion was worried the second miss might encounter danger on the road, so they specially sent 2 guards to accompany us there. That guard was standing right beside the second miss's carriage just now.
Why didn't you say so earlier?
I was just about to say it. But you have to give me a chance to speak first. Besides, how could I have known Madam would make things so difficult for a young lady like this?
Madam Ning's expression shifted again and again. Yet in the end, she still couldn't swallow her pride. Watching the other party pace back and forth, Manager Hai knew that if he didn't offer a way out soon, this matter probably wouldn't end peacefully.
Madam, this humble one has something to say. The eldest young master's illness. Why not let the second miss take a look?
What did you say? Let her look. What could she possibly see?
Madam, you may not know this, but the second miss grew up in a Taoist temple, and she has a very formidable master. She herself has learned quite a few remarkable skills. On the journey back to the capital, we encountered many strange and unusual things, and it was the second miss who resolved them all. Madam, if you don't believe me, just ask the servants who traveled with us on the passenger boat. 1 question and you'll know the truth.
Madam said nothing, yet she also made no move to summon those people for questioning.
If Madam remains unconvinced, we could always summon Steward Ning from the manor in the outer grounds to confirm. We merely spent 1 night there, and quite a few strange things happened to occur, and it was the second young lady who dealt with them.
At these words, The icy expression on Madame Ning's face finally showed the slightest crack. She cast another meaningful glance toward Mama Rong. Mama Rong understood at once, and without another word, adjusted her sleeves, then promptly left. After the time it takes to burn one stick of incense, Mama Rong returned and leaned close to concubine Ning's ear, whispering a great many things in a secretive tone.
Madam, this servant has questioned all the attendants and servants who went along, and every single one of them spoke of it in the most extraordinary terms. They all say that the second young lady is the reincarnation of an immortal.
Is this really true?
That is all.
Madame Ning pondered for a moment, then pondered still longer. Seemingly unable to reach a decision, seeing this, Mama Zhuo offered another gentle word of advice.
Madam, the second young lady must enter the residence sooner or later anyway. Why not seize this very moment to bring her back? As for the eldest young master's illness, in this servant's humble opinion, it would be best to invite the Snow Mountain Taoist master to come as well. At that time, whether he truly possesses skill or not, we ourselves may not be able to tell. But surely, the Snow Mountain Taoist would see through it at a glance. Yet if he truly succeeds in curing the eldest young master, would that not be an excellent outcome?
A wild girl of 15 or 16. How could she possibly take good care of Uncle's illness?
If she really fails to nurse him properly, wouldn't that give you even more leverage to keep her in check? Madam, this kills two birds with one stone.
Mrs. Ning's eyes flickered once more. But after all, things had turned quite unpleasant between both sides before. Even if she has to bring the girl back now, Mrs. Ming refused to lose her own dignity. She raised her chin and asked Steward Hai,
"Where is that girl now?"
This humble one doesn't know, madam.
But this servant does know a little. Just now she followed out, and then a servant came to report that the second young lady had gone to the north of the city.
Mrs. Ning looked puzzled.
She still has a residence in the north of the city.
It is said to be the residence of a guard from the general's mansion.
What kind of propriety is that? Even with her betrothal to the general, she is still an unmarried young lady. How can she live in the house of another unrelated man? Moreover, men and women should not have physical contact or improper closeness. Even if it were the general himself, he shouldn't be so intimate with her. Not to mention that it is not even the general, but one of his guards.
Steward Hai, standing to the side, heard this, and inwardly grumbled once again.
Isn't it all thanks to your kindness? You refused to let the second young lady through the gate, and now you won't allow anyone else to take her in. Would it then be proper for her to sleep on the streets?